All right, we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Total Marriage, where we talk about the total relationship experience. What are we talking about today? So I'm gonna wait for a few of you guys to get in here, but season 6 of Love is Blind just ended, and it had a lot of us in a chokehold. So what I wanted to do today is I'm gonna get up here and I'm gonna drop this link because apparently there are a lot of people who wanted to speak their piece and speak their mind on the topic. Um, Let me see here. I just dropped the link in the chat on YouTube, and let's see, I'm gonna drop it on Facebook as well. So if you guys want to come up, I need you to actually be on camera and I need you to have a background where you can actually be heard. Let's see. Do you guys see the link? I'm a little technologically illiterate over here, so let me see. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the link down for anybody that wants to come up. But until someone comes up, I'm just gonna speak my piece on the show and how I feel about everything. I'm actually gonna. Okay, are you watching it on YouTube? So if you want to come up and you're not on camera, for anybody that does want to come up, click the link. And like I said, as long as you don't have a noisy background, I prefer you to be on camera. But if you don't have a noisy background, it's all good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my piece on this topic, and I'm going to start with the reunion. So, my personal opinion, I don't know why they brought up the old cast members. They spent way too much time on them. Let's see, I actually made some notes here. Um, they waited way too long to put the show out because there was so much gossip and podcast and information that got leaked. I wish they would have put it out a whole lot sooner. Let's see. They should have definitely brought Clay and AD's mom up. Let's see. Trevor should have took a page out of what's the guy's name? Matthew should have took a page out of Matthew's book and not showed up because that was just beyond humiliating. And I was watching the show with my wife, and y'all saw that awkward pause and that awkward silence on whenever they panned over to him, and he just sitting there with his shoulders all down. AD, right before AD said it with your chest, I'm over there like, bruh, you done got caught up now. Like, go ahead and speak your piece, say your mind, and I wish they wouldn't have let him leave. Let's see. They spent way too much time grilling Sarah Ann and Jerame, or however you pronounce his name, because it ain't Jeremy. There's a lot of questions that they should have asked, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later in the video. Clay's and Brett's conversation. I don't know why that resonated with me so much, but I legitimately loved it. That was probably the second best conversation that was had on that show outside of AD's, Clay's mom and Clay's dad. I think that's who they were. Yeah, it's mom and dad. And they definitely gave Kenneth a pass because they should have got a little bit more into him. But anyway, Facebook user says, how do I join? Do you see the link in the do you see the link underneath the Facebook post? Facebook user, it doesn't show a name, so Jeremy, yeah. Jeremy know where he need to be at, out here in the streets with the rest of us. Facebook user, I dropped the link down into the chat, but if you can't see it, if somebody else can, let me know. I'm multitasking right now. Like I said, I got 3 different screens going on, so let me see. Hold on, be right back. Okay. So while y'all figuring that out, let me pull what's popping, fam. I don't know who that is, but Wagwan. While y'all are pulling that up, let me figure this out right here. So I'm gonna go down the list. You might need StreamYard. I'm on StreamYard. Can't see it either, homie. Okay. Y'all give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. If you're on Facebook, if you want to go over to YouTube, if you type in The Total Marriage on YouTube, you should be able to pull the link up for everybody watching on Facebook. Go to live video boost. Is this it? I believe so. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I got the link dropped down in the chat on YouTube. Y'all should be able to see it now, and on Facebook. So for everybody asking how do you join, if you click the link that is on either YouTube or Facebook, you have to go to Google Chrome or something like that, and it should be like it'll prompt you to get here, but don't let me get the line to you. Scroll to the top of the thread. Okay. So while y'all figuring that out, like I said, if you click on the link, it should take you straight to where you need to get to. So, but until y'all come up, like I said, I'm gonna say my piece on this. So let me share my screen with y'all real quick. Make sure I pull the right thing up. Okay. Kira, I see somebody else trying to come up here. So hold on 1 second. Can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, how you doing, Kira?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So is this the Kira that I'm thinking it is,
It
or
is.
how you doing?
How are you?
Doing pretty good. Tell my man I said what's up. I'm sure y'all somewhere around each other, but whenever y'all do, just tell him I said what's up.
He wants nothing to do with Love is Blind, but I'll tell him.
Oh, he don't know what he missing. He don't know what he missing.
I'm
So
telling you.
I was about to go down this list of the cast members over here, but what do you want to say your piece real quick?
So I'm joining late. What are we talking about? Just
So far, only thing I talked about was the reunion, and I was getting ready to just give my piece. And what my plan was I was just going to go down, giving my piece, and saying what I have to say about the show. And then whoever wanted to come up, we can talk about it. You can share your piece. We can go back and forth, see what everybody has to say about it, and you can stick around, hang out. I think it's like 10 people who can join the chat. So if you want to stay up, drop
okay.
down. It's completely up to you.
Okay. Well, I feel like we got really amped for the reunion and it was just a letdown. Like it was not my expectations were just so high. I feel like first of all, everybody from the previous seasons, I understand like you want to show like everybody that made it and the experiment really works. Cool, but we watched the other seasons. We know, this not their time to shine.
Mm-hmm.
That should have not been. It was an hour and a half, and I would say 45 minutes of that or more was spent talking about previous seasons. Like that doesn't make
Right.
any sense. We didn't even really touch on Chelsea and Jimmy like that. Like I didn't even know they weren't together until I Googled it.
Kelsey or Chelsea?
Chelsea, Megan
Megan
Fox,
Fox.
Megan
Yeah,
Fox,
yeah, yeah.
and her
Oh,
dude.
side note, by the way, I don't mean to cut you off. So I can't. Do you see the resemblance? I think from the nose down. I mean,
Uh,
from the nose up. I see what people are. Oh, hold on 1 second. Let me bring Sophie up. What's up? What's up?
Hi.
How you doing? So,
Good.
do you see the resemblance?
I see it from the eyes up. I
Okay.
just don't. I mean, that's a stretch. That is a stretch. I'm not saying she's a bad looking girl, but I just think like
That she
that's not
tried it.
it.
Well, the thing is she said people said she looked like Megan Fox. She didn't
Right,
say that
right,
she looked like her, and she kind of
right.
went with it. And I'm pretty sure that was a big part of why Jimmy
Yep,
leaned in that direction. So,
that's
but go ahead. I'm
exactly what
Yeah,
sorry.
I
and
said, and
that's that's
that's
why she
why I
got
said
dragged.
I said Jessica was right when he said like he's gonna need an EpiPen when he sees her, because I'm like, yeah, because he basically, I feel like he low key made the decision not solely based on that Megan Fox comment, but that had a lot to do with it. I don't care what
I
nobody
believe it was
says.
solely based on that comment.
I don't.
I do.
The
Because I
reason
feel
that
like he really wasn't feeling like he was talking to Jessica and stuff like that, but I feel like he had a more genuine connection with what's Chelsea, because he was really feeling Jessica before she said she had a kid. Then you just see the huge disconnect happen, and then all of a sudden he started feeling Chelsea more, especially when they started talking about like Christmases and all that stuff they was gonna do together when they get older. And then it was just like, okay, now to seal the deal, oh girl, you look like Megan Fox. Megan Fox. Okay.
So here's what I'll say, and I know a lot of this had to do with editing. They showed the clips of where Jimmy was in the room with old girl when she first told him that she had a daughter. And on top of that, I don't agree with the timing of it all, because it seemed like she waited until he was tied around her finger before she decided to let him know that. So now it's like the whole world is gonna be mad at him.
It did kind of make it seem like he was like, wait a minute, you got a kid? Like,
Right.
I don't know if that's like a good description.
It's because of that long pause.
I really wasn't playing when I said I was writing notes. I wasn't fucking around with y'all. Okay,
hold on 1 second. I'm gonna bring my wife up. She's trying to get in too. Hold on 1 second.
Girl. Hey girl. Nah, I don't think so. The tied around the finger thing is just hard to like for me to place that on there, only because they don't have a lot of time to like a lot of days, I'll say. Maybe like hours in the day, but it's not like you can meet somebody, talk to them for like 3 months, and then maybe like I don't know, whatever time frame you feel comfortable to be like, okay, well, since I like you enough, hey, we've been talking strong for a month, I'm gonna let you know now I have a kid, or something like that. Or maybe we've been talking strong for 2 weeks, I'm gonna let you know now I have a kid. It's just like, okay, I feel like what she did was, in my opinion, coming from a mom, I feel like that was appropriate. It's like I gotta see and talk to the man to make sure that this motherfucker ain't crazy. This is a regular person. I can connect with them. And then it's like, okay, I like you. Now I can tell you, like, okay, hey, before we get any deeper, because that's what you said, I have a kid. And then as soon as she said that shit, Jimmy was like, oh, you have a kid?
So I think she was a lot for him anyway. Like, I think she was a big personality too. Like, I just don't feel like he could have handled all of that with her too. I don't know. It was a lot.
Well, I agree with what you're saying about that, because all the way up until the point where they got into their first like disagreement, she kind of came at him a lot harder than he probably was expecting. She came at him tough. And at the reunion, she was saying like, I didn't come at you this type of way and blah, blah, blah. Like, he said something about you left in 10 minutes and they proved that to be wrong.
You know what I love? Yeah. I love me receipts.
Oh, I love receipts too. But the thing is, though, they didn't play the receipt to what Jimmy was saying about her approach or her response to him feeling a certain type of way about that, or like I can't remember what the situation was, but they didn't play that part because he was right about that.
What though?
So he said that she came at him like tough, and he didn't like the way that she came at him, and she stormed out in 10 minutes. They showed the 10 minutes part, but they didn't show the part of her coming at him the way that she did.
I really felt like all that was irrelevant too. Like, I don't even know why they played. Like, I don't know. It just seems super irrelevant.
Not to like knock how he felt or knock his experience, but it's like they aired her coming at him tough, like when she was like going crazy on him and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like, okay, so we've already seen that, we've already experienced that, and I feel like she came at him like that mostly because her feelings was hurt behind the situation. Okay, cool, we understand that, but it's like for you to say, I think the point that Jessica was making is just like the principle of the situation. Like tell the truth, tell the whole story. Like if you're gonna say something about me, that's fine. It's your own experience. You could explain it however you want, but say what happened. Don't say it in a way where you villainize me to like other people. It's like to say I stormed out in 10 minutes when we sat there for the first thing was like an hour and 20 something minutes, and then the second thing was 50 minutes. So well over 2 hours and whatever, 3 hours y'all sat there was talking.
It was weird. It was weird. I don't even it was the whole thing was weird with them. I guess towards the end. I feel like they should have just deaded that and talked about the actual relationship we wanted to know about, and that is
Chelsea
and yeah, like we didn't even know we didn't know their relationship status. And like I said, I had to Google it to find out they did try to date each other after he said he's not marrying her, and it just didn't work. So they're not together right now. We didn't know that.
No, we didn't know that.
Why didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Chelsea, the whole time I was looking at her. It was like, girl.
So you know the show is already messy. So the edits, they probably geared in a certain type of way. And look, I promise y'all, I want to talk about.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Who are we like? The only person you've been talking about at this point was like Jimmy and Jessica.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Because I just want to make sure my notes on.
Okay, so we can go down the route that I was getting ready. You still there, Shannon?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening.
You got anything to say?
No, I mean, I agree with what both of you are saying. I mean, have to remember the whole reason that whole Jessica situation was brought up because Jimmy went and did that interview where he didn't tell the truth.
Right.
So her feelings on the set or on the show itself, the reunion that is, came from a place of, you publicly told people stuff that cast me in a negative light, and what you said wasn't true. So I think her animosity in that moment and the way she approached it at the reunion was because she didn't like the fact that he gave out some false information and it made her look a certain type of way to the public. I mean, I don't know. I think they wasted a lot of unnecessary time on that whole situation. Like whether it's 10 minutes or 2 hours, y'all didn't.
That's not the relationship we should have been like deep diving into. Like that don't even make. I get we touching on it, and she wanted her apology, and she wanted the world to know she's not like this villain. Okay, cool, but we spent 30 minutes talking about a couple that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Girl, talk about
I would have much rather heard or highlighted some of Chelsea's crazy behavior at times.
Exactly.
And talked about, how Jimmy gave her that whole setup when he told her, you know what, I don't want to marry you, after he had asked her, what are you going to say? You want to go to the altar? She was like, yes. And he was like, well, I don't want to.
Yeah,
so,
Jimmy.
I mean, I would have liked to point out a lot of that. I would have liked to talk a little bit more to Kenneth and that whole situation.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Because there was
wait. So let's do this right here.
Because this is gonna get ugly. Because I'm gonna go off. So, like I'm literally, after Shannon said that, I'm sweating.
No, so okay. So here's what we'll do. Since anybody else that want to come up, let me know. I'll keep y'all up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down the list of people, and you can just let me know what your thought process is on it. Because I really want to talk about Clay and AD. Because y'all gave my boy Clay. Hold up, no, Look, I ain't gonna point no fingers, but I think you know who you are. I'm glad you up here too. Well, y'all was on my boy Clay hard. Y'all was on my boy Clay hard.
You can say my
name. Missing side tooth behavior. He was still doing that. Even on the reunion.
He was still shady before the reunion, Josh.
Shannon.
Period.
Look. How about? Okay, hold on one second.
Just because he had some mature things to say doesn't take back what he did.
I think that was perfume on poop. I think it was perfume on poop because
let me. Okay.
I'm gonna wait for Josh to get his life together. But
yeah.
Oh no. I'm good. So
baby, I
got. She got a whole book, Josh.
Okay, so let me know. This is the first conversation right here. What y'all think about Brittany?
Okay, Brittany, she was too good for that. She didn't deserve none of what happened to
She
her.
didn't.
I
Mhm.
feel bad for her because I feel like her experience was robbed by Kenneth. And he had
What?
no business being on that damn show.
What was this right here?
Y'all know what I'm talking about,
What was
Kenneth.
that? Okay. Look, those are allegations. Obviously, they never get to that point. But while I was
They would
watching
never
the show,
address that. Are
they,
you
they,
you trying to get Love Is Blind canceled for
oh
forever?
no, of course they would
Right.
never address it. But while I was watching it, I kind of heard it in his voice. Like I know, obviously, I have no problem with who you like. I don't care. But I could hear it in his voice. And actually, let me hold on one second. Let me play
That
this
was
clip for y'all
not
real quick.
that. Brittany was not his cup of tea. Maybe Brandon.
It
but
wasn't
Brittany was
fair.
not.
That wasn't fair to her. I think she wholeheartedly was in this experience to really
Yes.
be in it, and she did not get a
She got her
fair shot.
time wasted. The way I would be
Yeah.
swinging on his
Mhm.
ass.
I mean,
'cause
she
why
got a
did you do
friend
that?
out of it. She got a good bestie. She got a
The fuck,
homegirl
girl,
out
I
of
didn't come
it.
here for no friend.
Are
That's
you
like
So
playing a
applying for a
clip?
job and they're like, we're gonna pay you in friendship.
y'all, so listen to his voice, and I know a lot of y'all probably hung around gay guys before. Listen to how he describes. Y'all
You ain't
remember that
gotta
video
tell
the dude
me.
was talking about? I don't like men's no more. How he was trying to describe how he wasn't a homosexual anymore. Listen to how he describes her when she comes out.
Oh my
Somebody else's
god.
video.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
What's up, babe?
Hey.
You look good.
Thank
You
you.
look so good.
Are you gonna kiss her or not?
Hey,
How are you, my love?
No.
baby. Hey.
All right, there we go. It was a respectful kiss, like she said.
Oh my god.
It's me.
Oh.
It's me.
Let me check. You all right? Temperature
Yep.
check?
Is my wife with me?
Yeah.
It's not
I think they
giving.
like each other.
Okay, yeah. I think they like each other.
You look amazing. Like, oh my gosh.
You want to tell her you thought she would be blonde?
How you
So
feeling,
does
dog?
that sound like he's trying to convince himself to me as a guy? That's what I hear. I don't know if any guys
No,
in to me anyway. That's just me.
I don't think that it. He
Go ahead,
just he looks unsure. He looks awkward. He probably is awkward. I mean, I think that moment isn't always just like, rainbows and butterflies. You're
I
meeting
think it's an
somebody for the
awkward
first
moment
time.
for everybody.
Okay.
Yes. I think
Yeah.
he was just awkward. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's fair to say anything about the dude's sexuality personally. You know how I
No,
feel
there are
about that. Like,
allegations
we
out
don't
there.
know what his sexuality is. His
But
voice isn't an indicator.
they touched on allegations, and that was a
They
big
did.
one. So I just feel like they
They
should,
could
just
have
like
addressed it,
they pulled all those receipts for Trevor. They should have been like, okay, well, this is what the internet is
Oh,
saying.
don't
but
Oh,
don't
we
get me
we
you
go
started.
we go
know,
we, look. We gonna get there. We gonna get there.
but that would be
That
a
would be controversial.
problem.
Okay, so
Yes.
Yeah,
Shannon,
yeah.
I agree with you
Yeah.
about like I do think it is unfair that everybody did go at him, even though I'm the person who
Yeah.
I am the person who did that just now. Like, I do think that is crazy that everybody said that, but at the same time, my viewpoint on when people do stuff like that, it's like, where did that come from?
Right.
Like, there's like so many other men here, so many other things. Like, it doesn't matter whatever the situation is. I'm just like, why did that happen? Why did that happen to specifically only you? Because you were ignoring her? Like, I don't feel like that's like a strong enough reason for somebody to jump to that.
He
Because
did
it
a
Right.
doesn't,
switch.
you
It
know,
was a major switch. Like he
Y-
seemed
yeah,
so into her, and then they got on that boat, and after
it
that,
was
I
just
just
like light switch was
Yeah.
No,
But
look,
see,
I saw a distinct switch
there was a switch before
when
that.
but
oh, was it?
before he saw her when they went to the reunion, he was picking the chairs up, and all of the women were like, "Oh, he's so the 10 of your husband."
Yeah,
Y'all remember that? And
yeah.
then
yeah.
whenever AD came up to him and had this
Oh,
conversation with him
about the
about the
black,
kids and
Oh,
everything else,
right?
his if you go back
oh,
and
hold
watch it,
on.
his
I'm
oh,
sorry, y'all. I gotta
oh
be
no,
No,
you
mindful.
you're
good, go ahead.
good.
Never mind.
You good. Hey,
Y'all
tell
know
Sean to do some work. But at that point, his whole demeanor changed ever since then, and that is the shift that I saw
Okay,
Yeah,
when that
Yeah,
so
came up.
that's the
that's
shift
fair.
I saw too. Because
That's
up until
fair.
that point, he was
He
on
was
board.
fine.
y'all not
Mhm.
lying. Y'all
That's
right.
true.
Y'all right. Now that I
I
think about
think
it,
I think
yeah.
personally that AD brought up some concerns regarding race and how she may acclimate and fit in culturally and with his family. And
Raising
I think
kids and
I
That's the
think that got
motherfucking
in his
one.
head a bit, and I
Yes.
think it stayed in his
It
head.
made him
And
shut down.
right after that, it was like totally switch, not interested, doubt. It was almost like he shut her out and pushed her away.
And he
Okay,
didn't
and
even
Greer.
have that I mean, he had the
Mhm.
conversation with her in the hotel, but it was almost like you already had your mind made up.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
mm,
Like it wasn't a
Yes.
back and forth conversation. Like, yes, I can handle it. Like he didn't give her a chance
Yeah,
to
that nigga was
even
nodding to
right.
be nodding.
yeah.
He wasn't
Mm,
he wasn't nodding like, okay, yeah, I'm taking in what you're saying. I'm saying this like a
No.
conversation. He was nodding like, okay,
Nope,
yeah, I
Yeah.
really
he
give a
right.
wasn't.
fuck, but
Because Brittany, honestly, she gave me like Southern woman,
She
the
yes,
mother, the
yep.
mother from Blind Side, like type of energy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
yeah,
pretty sure the only thing that
minus
was
the
in
racism.
right,
Right.
and the only thing that was in Kenneth head was probably Dr. Umar Johnson calling him a bunny hopper or something
Oh
crazy
wait,
like that.
no,
Look, all
beef.
he kept talking about was his people and his affirming and all this other stuff
Yeah.
like that or
Nope.
whatever.
Yeah,
So
I think, yeah, Shani
That's not cool.
and Greer, I think both of you guys are correct. I think
mhm,
Yeah.
like AD definitely dropped a bug in his ear, and that
Yep.
definitely shifted his whole like mentality. I guess maybe it just like in the vacation or whatever their honeymoon, not vacation, but their honeymoon.
mhm.
It's like they were in that mindset, like I'm on a honeymoon,
Right.
and they weren't really thinking about like real situations. And Eddie was like, "My boy, you remember you
Yeah.
left."
And
But
not
like I
that.
said, it should have been a conversation. Like he shouldn't have
Right.
shut
Right.
down on her like that. Like you just proposed to this girl. And first of all, well, I guess they couldn't have had this conversation in the pods, but they should I think it should have been more of a conversation. I just feel like he shut that door once he
Mm,
talked to AD and that was pretty much it.
but at the same time, now that you guys are like mentioning that all this stuff, I remember like my first initial reactions to that conversation. I felt like AD was hella out of line. Like,
Yes,
girl,
I
that is
did. I
Yes.
not
thought the same
Yes.
thing.
your place at all to have that I feel like that conversation should have came when from like Kenneth's sisters or his cousins,
Right.
his good
Mhm.
girlfriends,
Yep.
people like that. That conversation was so inappropriate for her
Hmm.
to question him like that. She was like, "Oh, you talking about?" She was like, what about when you guys have like black little kids?" Like, bitch,
Yep.
Clay, every
Yeah.
time you're like, "Clay, I like the sky is blue," and he'd be like, "Man, yeah, the sky is blue, but I'm for the cheese." So
Yeah.
worry about what you got going on.
I
Don't
I
don't
will
worry.
say
Right.
this. I will say this. So I like AD a lot
I
overall.
do
Like
too.
I'm her biggest
I
fan.
do,
You
I
know,
do,
I
but
think
I didn't
AD
respect
is a
that.
very well-rounded, mature woman. But I will say this: there were some moments where I felt like AD was a little bit messy at times, and that
Yes.
was
Yeah.
one
So
of them.
right.
And
So
I'll say
okay.
this:
I'll go ahead, and then we'll go to the next person.
I'll say this. I personally think that Brittany had the right mindset. I think AD bringing it up and the way she brought it up was out of line, but it the points she made are points that you have to discuss in an interracial relationship,
Right.
Correct.
especially if you are planning on having children and you are concerned about how that's going to be because it is something that needs to be addressed. But I
Right.
just felt like the way she brought it to him, it was almost like purposely trying to put little seeds of doubt
Hmm.
in his head, and he just wasn't strong enough
And unfortunately, it
to
worked.
handle that. It did, it worked. And I feel like Brittany didn't get a fair shot at that. I also think Brittany's a very well-rounded woman. I
Yeah.
think she would have handled it like she handled every other
Yeah.
situation with grace.
Mhm.
And I think he missed out on that one. If that's one of the biggest reasons why he shut down, that's something he's gonna have to
Well,
live
that's
with.
maybe why they best friends now.
Right?
Yeah, I
Or
Exactly.
he
agree.
said they girlfriends.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna get to AD on here pretty soon. Let's see. She wasn't. I don't.
Who's
She
that?
didn't.
Yeah. Who is that?
That was probably one of the chicks that didn't get any airtime.
Uh,
I seen
Oh,
her
you're
a
just
couple
going
times.
through. I see what you're doing now.
Yeah.
There she goes.
that's
Hey,
So
her
AD.
girl.
I love
here's
me some AD.
AD.
Body
So
yada 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 yada
here's
Yeah.
what I have to say about AD. I liked AD, but I don't necessarily think that a lot of people kind of remember what she was saying in the beginning before, like whenever the show first started.
I
Do y'all
remember
do you remember her saying
he's
that
Captain
she
Save a Ho.
usually go? she's Captain Save a
Yep.
Hoe.
She
She
wanna
goes after.
mend a man. She wanna build up a man. I
She
wrote
wants
that
to
right here in
build
my
up her
notes.
man. She said when she sees red flags, she paint her nails red and
Yup.
everything. And think about this too. Who are the two guys that she was attracted to? The
Red
two
flag.
most,
Matt
the
and
two
80.
most, the two most unavailable guys on the show,
Toxic.
emotionally unavailable guys on the
Yeah.
show. So
Yeah.
I know that at the end of the show, everybody felt bad, and I'm not gonna say everybody. And I understand from this perspective, from the perspective of a woman, I understand that putting so much work and effort into a guy and building him up and seeing that you're causing so much of an impact on his life to get to
No.
the altar and to be told no. I personally feel like Clay got demonized, but throughout the entire process, he was completely honest all the way up until the altar. He said
Yeah.
no, and I'm thinking to myself, do you guys want him to say yes and break her heart that way, or break her heart before you know what I'm saying? So to me, and this is just me from a guy's perspective, like AD said that Clay was her type. She sees red flags. She does this. Clay said that his ego was big. He said that he needed therapy. He said he idolized his dad, who was going to these P. Diddy freak offs, with taking him with. Like all of these different things that Clay was telling AD 100%. And she stuck with him because she felt as though she wanted to put whatever. And then they get to the altar. The only thing Clay really did that kind of threw me off, he said he didn't know people was getting married at the end of the show. I didn't really.
Yeah,
Oh.
that
Yeah, that
is
was
BS.
funny.
Okay, who going first?
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm done with the stage. Y'all go ahead.
I feel
With
like you
AD.
should, Sophie. You should, because you got that book.
Baby, listen.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, go ahead. You got the book.
First of all, I did write down about 80 talking in the pods how, if she see red flags, she loves the circus. Cool. So in two ways, I feel like first of all, I'm just like, okay, you getting all the way up to the altar and that happening to you, like, yeah, like reap what you sow, right? So
Right.
a little bit like, yeah, you kind of deserve that. The other side of that for me is that you can see a clear difference in how AD was acting all the way leading up to the altar and then how Clay was acting leading up to the altar, right? So I agree with 80 100% when she said that Clay played in her face because she should have Clay should have took a page out of Jimmy's book and
Mm-hmm.
took AD to the little damn dinner and been like, you know what? You want to get married? I do. And then when she says, oh, I'm not, I don't know, whatever. And then he'd be like, okay, never mind. I don't either. Or whatever he's going to say. But I think it was hella disrespectful for him to sit there because the way that she was acting was just like there was no doubt in her mind in the way that he was communicating with her that he was going to go through with everything once they got to the altar, that whatever problems that they were having and whatever issues that they were experiencing, the way that AD made everything seem was that, okay, like we talked about this stuff, we're going to be able to get through this as a couple. We might not have all the answers right now,
Right.
but he believes in me in a way where he understands I'm the type of woman that's going to be able to assist him through all of these trials and tribulations and X, Y, and Z. That's
Right.
how that was presented. So that's why she was literally blindsided. And I hate that for her because my nigga, you did not have to make her parents come out there, his ain't shit dad, whatever, all that shit. That was bullshit. That was bullshit to me. You should have told her in the house or told her at a dinner that was I don't care. You should have told her before because even at the altar, he was like, yeah, I just kept asking myself the question, am I a husband? Do I seem like a husband? I don't feel like a husband. Nigga, you did not just say that to yourself today. You said you've been saying that. So why didn't you say that to her at any point in time? And also the other point is that I do believe Clay when he said that he went to therapy and he's doing the work to like resolve whatever issues that he has. Great. Perfect. I support that 100%, but that does not take away from the fact that I feel like he tried to make it to the altar to get more airtime, like get more TV time to like what's his face, his Airbnbs and shit like that. I don't know if that's the whole thing, but I think that he tried to get more airtime because that conversation you could have had with her, because these demons that you were battling or whatever, even though in the reunion he said this was the first time he was dealing with this, sure, you don't know what you don't know until you win the shit. and you was in that shit. You was experiencing that shit. You was picking the songs. You was picking the flowers. You was picking your suit. You was doing the bachelor party. You was doing all this shit, and then you sat in her face talking about, and then said, "Oh, I don't think it's responsible."
So okay,
Well,
oh, go ahead,
wait,
Shannon.
Josh.
Go
Let me
ahead.
say this.
Go ahead.
On as far as responsible, so Clay knew that he had his issues. He knew before he ever went on the show that he was, I don't want to say the word damaged, but he had
Yeah.
his struggles. He clearly wasn't sure, if he was really ready for marriage. He knew he was someone who liked to have multiple women and entertain multiple women at the same time. He did not know if he could settle down. So the responsible thing to do was to not go on the show at all and get your shit
That part.
together before you go on a show, and with the whole intention of knowing you're ready for marriage and a relationship
Right.
going further. He didn't know that to begin with. So to me, Clay was irresponsible before he ever went on the
Got
show
on
to
the
begin
show.
with.
Yeah.
Period.
As far as
I
AD,
I I agree, because I mean, even if he didn't know the end result was actually marriage, you knew the show had something to do with finding a mate. And if
right.
you were not ready to find this one person to be with, why are you here? So I do, like you said, I agree with AD when she said you played in my face. I feel like he's justifying because he kept saying, my dad took me while he was cheating. This is what I saw growing up. These are the things that I'm dealing with. I get that. But the fact that he kept reiterating it, I feel like it was more of a, all right,
I feel sorry for the card.
I'm telling you
Yeah.
now that this may happen. So when it does, don't act like I didn't
He's
tell
telling
you
you that it
that
is
this was
gonna
the kind of
happen.
person that I am. So my thing is,
Mm-hmm.
like, you knew that. You knew you wasn't ready to change. Was it more so on the
Now you
fact
knew you
that,
wasn't
okay,
shit.
I'll change for the right woman?
He
Man,
wasn't
that's the
checking for no
problem.
woman.
That's
Not
that's
not
That's
in
my
never
that
how it
thing.
time.
happens. You change because you change. You do
Because
the
you
work
want to
you want
change.
to.
Right.
Yes,
So
and
I think
I
he's
don't
doing
know
the
why
work
he did.
now, but I feel like he should have did the work before going on the show. Like,
Yep. Because you
that's just
did.
how I feel.
Ultimately, I feel like whatever happened and whoever was hurt because of his actions is 100% solely on him, because he
Yes.
knew going in that even if he didn't know, first of all, how do you not know that the end goal was marriage? Like, everybody, this is the fourth season of Love Is Blind. Like, you knew that.
The girl,
Oh,
the sixth.
oh,
And even at the bare minimum, you knew it was a monogamous type of relationship.
Yeah.
I just think he was careless and he was selfish, and I agree, maybe he had ulterior motives as far as promoting his business, his Airbnb business, but he knew what he was doing when he went on that show. And AD, in my opinion, some women like to pick their poison, and she seems to be that type of woman that likes to poison. And
Mm-hmm.
until she changes that part of her that
She's
looks
gonna
for
always
men that,
attract them type of men.
right, then you're going to attract that type of man, and it's up to you to realize that that's what you're attracting and make a change. But you pick your poison and you get hurt. At the end of the day, there's some responsibility and accountability on you, because why do you keep picking these type of men? Like, she could have
Girl.
said no to both of them. She could have opened herself up to some other people. I mean, I know the connection may not have been there, but Clay made it clear in those pods that he was not sure if he could do what she needed him to do. And the
Mm-hmm.
entire time, her mentality was, well, he's going to do it for
I
me.
can fix
I'm going to
him.
help him through it. I'm
It's
going
no
to,
problem.
if you don't want another child, then get away from that, because you would be mothering him. He's a project. And if you don't want a project, then you can't choose the projects. Just leave the project men
I'm
alone
gonna
and
say
find a man that
respectfully.
has his shit together.
Yeah.
So,
Respectfully, I don't want to be his mom. Baby, that
so
you well on your way.
Right.
I understand everything that y'all are saying. I promise you I do. And I wish that there was some guys here, but I think that y'all could probably relate to what I'm about to say.
Mm.
Do you oh do you think do you think that there's a scenario where Clay went into these pods with a certain way of thinking and ran into someone that challenged his way of thinking so much so that he had to kind of regroup and rethink everything else, and then knowing that y'all got 30 days, how much time they got before they get married. And he's in his head, I don't necessarily, because he talked about Brett and he watched the season with Brett or whatever. Like, I don't know what a husband is. I just realized this. I don't know what real love is. I just realized this in these pods because he might not have been challenged like this. I'm not saying this is what it was. I'm just saying that, do you think that this is a possible scenario? So while he was in the pods, he had a complete mindset shift. He fell in love. He became more vulnerable. He became more open. He was seeing all these different issues about himself and everything else in those pods. And now afterwards, understanding, because Clay put a lot of, I think if more people put the amount of thought Clay put into marriage, there probably wouldn't be as many married people right now.
Hey, Josh.
What's up?
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think Shanice is trying to join. I don't know if you got somebody like in the queue that's trying to join.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Shanice, are you able to come on camera?
So, wait, are you done, Greer?
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you now. Are you able to come on camera?
So I just came from the gym and I'm in a car. But
is that you?
It is me. So, I just been, so I'm Sophie's friend. We were stationed together in Charleston.
Okay.
But obviously, I just had to come out here because I knew that y'all this was the part I really wanted to get into.
Okay.
I feel like, low-key, Clay was really telling AD no the entire time. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at all of the episodes, like there were so many times where he was just saying to her, oh, okay, well, I don't feel like I can pretty much like motivate you or lift you up, like carry you in a sense. Like he just kept saying all of this stuff. So to me, I just felt like I didn't understand why she was so like heartbroken. I mean, I can get it, but I'm like, you were putting your all into it. But this man was giving you all of these signs like prior to. So I didn't really understand that. And then for people to really like bash him, I'm just like, but I can understand what he's saying. He said that this was like 2 weeks. I mean, I get it that the whole point was to get married, but I'm just like, at least I guess he was being honest, saying like, can anybody like really marry somebody in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I mean, it's true, but it's also the name of the game.
Yes, the show itself.
You didn't come in there blindsided. You're not the first people ever to do this show. And then also to touch on what you were saying, Greer, like I can rock with what you're saying. Like maybe his mindset was legitimate and maybe he was coming in there with the mindset of, hey, I am going to marry somebody and I do want to let all this shit go. I want to do this. But my thing is that while okay, so if we're going to talk about that reality, while maybe that was true, right? In that time, he had the energy, he was focused on that. That was the tunnel vision. That was his mindset. You got all the way up and out of the pods. Y'all started living together and you kept saying those things over and over about what Kearns was talking about, how I'm not sure this, I'm not sure that, I'm not sure if I could be this man. My dad was cheating. I went on, like, you had all of these doubts floating around in your head, which again, he reiterated at the altar, like, when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, as many times as I've done, I'm not sure if I could be a husband. While that is his reality, it's like you had more than enough time and more than enough opportunities while you were helping pick out all this shit, do all this shit. No matter what, however you came in this situation, you could have told that girl before you brought her up there, because the way that, like I said before, the way AD was acting, that did not seem to me like he told her at some point that, hey, I don't think I can do this. He probably told her, like, I don't feel confident in myself, but I'm going to do this with you.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
I agree.
So it's just like, why didn't you take any opportunity in between whenever you started looking at yourself in the mirror and you was like, I'm no husband? Why didn't you just at one of those times remove the mirror and put AD right there? Why'd you do that?
There's a million ways he could have skinned that cat, but I agree with what y'all are saying. By the way, I don't want y'all to think that I'm like me defending or saying what I'm saying about Clay. It's like going against AD because that does suck, and I understand where it's coming from. Mm-hmm. I'm just again thinking about this from a guy's perspective, holding him accountable for what he did and the things that he should have said or didn't say.
Yeah.
But just the thought process of what he was probably going through, because Clay is one of those people, he's going to say what's up here. He doesn't really think about how it feels coming up, but he's going to say what's up here. So I'm listening to him like,
and drawn out.
yeah, this guy is, he needs some help. He shouldn't have been on this show and all of these other different things. But one thing that I can say is that AD had all of the information she needed to not even continue down that path.
Yes, that's
She
true.
had all of the information she needed. He didn't like warp her reality. He didn't lie to her about anything. He told her exactly what it was. So she had the opportunity, even with him saying all this thing, because he could have been a super toxic person, was like wanting to get married anyway.
Correct.
And he could have just went along with it, but he was completely honest the entire time. And she
Right.
still said, I do.
I feel like with all the red flags and the signs that he did give AD at some point, why didn't it click in AD's head? Like, why do I want to marry this guy right now? Like what? Why didn't it click in her? Like, this might not be the best fit for me right now. She was all in the entire time, ready to say yes to somebody that she knew was a project. Again, I'm telling you right now, some women just don't really know how to not pick the poison. And she likes the poison.
Yeah.
And so there's accountability on both sides.
Yes.
I will say that, I mean, compared to Jeremy, Clay's accountability meter was like way up there, whereas, you know, Jeremy was trash. He's still trash in my book. But I'll give him some credit for, I got a very genuine feel from him with what he looked uncomfortable, but he looked like he was saying what needed to be said to show a bit of growth. And I do think that growth was genuine. And even then, you could look at AD and she was folding, sitting right next to him after everything. She was still like,
yeah, he still had hold on her.
Like they ain't over yet. They not gonna be over yet.
No, they're not. But the
They
thing,
probably dating right now. But I'm just saying, like, I give Clay his credit, but he definitely had some demons that probably should have been addressed, in my opinion, before he came on this show. I don't think Clay was unaware of his struggles, because if he was, he wouldn't have voiced them like he did in the pods so freely. And on top of that, if I'm being 100% honest with you, Josh, I don't really see where she pushed him that much. What did she really challenge him on? There wasn't a whole lot of challenge in those conversations. It was more him just revealing that he had his things. He said repeatedly in the pods that he had his challenges, and he knew it.
So I can't answer that with, because I'm obviously not him, but I just know that he mentioned that she was challenging him and she pushed him and she saw through his bullshit. Like, those were the things that he said. So whatever that was that he was referring to, he was being challenged in some type of way because.
So, but yeah, he was being challenged in some type of way, but he even said it himself. She saw through my bullshit. So if he knows that it's bullshit, then he knew prior to going on the show that he had his shit. You know?
No, look,
like,
I got you.
That's it. Like, I'm telling you, Josh, like I know, like, you identify with the male side of things. And I like I said, I've said it before, I'll say it again. AD is not even close to innocent in that. I mean, she was a fool, but she made herself a fool a little bit. I'm just saying, I'm not willing to say that I just don't believe that Clay didn't know what he was prior to going on to that show, and what his habits and tendencies and perspectives, and how he deals with women. He knew what he was. He knew, Josh, and he played her a little bit, but she played.
Oh no, look.
No, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Oh, who is it? Oh, yeah, I can't hear her.
But I'm gonna read some of these chats real quick, and we'll go to the next person.
Yeah, I don't know. How can we see the chats too? Because I can't see any of the chats. Because I'm on.
They're on. The majority of them are coming from YouTube. So if you're on Facebook, you will see what's on Facebook and YouTube, but they won't mix.
So if you go, there's like a little area. Oh.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Let's see.
Unless I had to download the app.
Matt the Queen says, I'm sorry, I think AD is delusional.
AD,
when it comes to men anyway.
Okay, I see a little bit.
Jennifer says, at least he was honest. I agree. Matt the Queen says, the point is that he knew he was
way before the ceremony. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. That's the shit that gets me. It's like, while AD was delusional, you knew you was finna tell that girl no. Mm-hmm. You and your missing side tooth knew what the hell you was gonna say when you got up there, and you said it anyway. And that pisses me off so bad because for me, I've just been like, why would you play with me in front of my family like this? Like, are you dumb?
Right.
Says there's no way he didn't know he felt that way before it got in front of his friends and family.
Exactly. Ain't no way. There's no way. And then you confirmed it because you said the shit out loud. You said, I've been looking at myself in the mirror. Unless you looked at yourself in the mirror when you was getting dressed and then it hit you.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
so
he
what I
knew
was saying
the entire
was,
time that he was having his doubts, and
I think that they had she had issues
he
too
just
because
missed the mark in certain areas, in my opinion.
Can
Who's
y'all
next,
hear me?
Josh?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, she when they had got into it, but the conversation kept coming up about him not being home. Like
Shannon?
I don't understand why that
wasn't.
wasn't.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can.
She must can't hear me.
Yes.
Can you hear? What's her name?
Kira.
I can't hear anybody but you and Josh.
Oh man.
Oh. I can hear her.
Yeah, I hear her too.
But that's okay. What you can, I'll let y'all talk about it. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
She but they were when they kept saying that he wasn't coming home or something. Like, remember they were having them issues about him being gone all night or whatever he was doing. She kind of downplayed it. Like, she seemed like she had a big issue with it, but she didn't really, like, she touched on it and then he said his piece and then she was like, okay. So to me that was like
her mom too.
Yeah, but you was ignoring something that really bothered you. Like,
but
that
her
was
mom
another
made
red
her
flag.
feel like everything's okay, don't give up because he didn't come home.
No, that's an issue. That is an issue that needed to be resolved before y'all got to the altar. That's major.
Maddie's right.
That's
Maddie
major.
Mad the Queen.
What's that?
Little desperation in AD's choice of men. There is.
And I don't know why. She seemed like a good catch.
Yeah, girl, she don't look bad.
Right.
She got the body. We're not gonna overlook that.
Yeah.
Okay, like you could just, you know what I'm saying? She just needed to fix that little leave out and them eyelashes. That was it.
Not the leave out.
Them eyelashes. How many times did I tell you about them eyelashes?
Them lashes was crazy. Wearing them lashes with no
I couldn't stand them.
Yeah, them eyelashes pissed me off.
On a Monday
Can you hear
morning?
Kira, Shannon?
No, I can't, but it's okay.
Still can't? Okay. All right, so let me go to this next person really quick.
Wait, maybe Shannon, if you like the way that she had left and came back, maybe you try to do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave and come back, Josh.
Okay.
Once I get this little screen up again.
All right, so the next person is Mackenzie. She didn't get any showtime, I don't think. Let's see who we got here. Amy C. Not sure who she is either.
Amy, ain't that Johnny's girl, the only ones that made it? I can't really see the thing.
No. That's
not her.
Hold on one second. No, that's not her. That's can't think of her name, but that's not her.
Yeah, that's not her.
Okay, because I have to, you know what? I gotta move.
Oh,
okay. Sarah Ann. So my question for y'all right now.
Ho.
Oh,
Sarah Ann played the game.
You played. If that was me, I would have threw your ass into that lake. You a hoe.
Wait, so what you're saying, you calling her a hoe because of the text message?
Yes, you a hoe. You not a girl's. You not nobody that's respectful of anybody's relationship, because being just 100% black and white, plain as day. Before you and Shannon got married, if you announced on Facebook that y'all two are engaged, and on either side, one of your exes texts you and say, "Hey,
if it don't work
I was just wondering, blah 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 blah, da 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 da," What the fuck are you talking about? What she was wondering?
You're putting that in a scenario that isn't equivalent to Love is Blind, though, because they were dating. So it's like two complete strangers. They both started dating at the same time. They were in a triangle.
She interfered. However you want to flip the situation, you interfered. You inserted yourself in a situation you had no business inserting yourself. Now I can understand if Jeremy and Laura, their situation fizzled out, they broke up, like it just wasn't clicking the way that they thought it was clicking, and you was like, oh, hey, whatever. You didn't do that. They were fine before you got there.
So there ain't no scenario or situation where you see where you're like, you know what? I get it, but it was still wrong.
That's how I feel, Josh. I feel like
that's me.
The text message, yes, it was like, okay, girl, you ain't have to do that. But that part to me wasn't as bad as the whole all night talking. That
he was dating both of them.
That right
he was dating both of them in the pods, but not when he got out of the pods. When he was out of the pods, he was strictly with Laura. He was engaged to be married to her. They were working on their relationship and figuring out the shit that they had to figure out in a short amount of time. So the fact that she did that, it doesn't matter if they was engaged for 30 seconds. They're engaged. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
It don't make my relationship weaker because it's less time. You're engaged to me. You chose me. That's the reality of the situation.
Right.
So now it don't matter because it was a short time. Is that how we're viewing relationships?
So I understand where you're coming from, and I also understand where Kira is coming from, because for me, I don't think that it was right. I think that she should have waited, because just like it was announced to the world that they were engaged, I'm sure at some point with all of the publicity that they're getting, something would have came out that they're not engaged anymore. She could have reached out then. So the timing of it was terrible, but I understand the text message because of the feelings involved. That's the way I see it.
And I also feel like she was, and granted, again, she's not right for it, but I think she was doing it as like you said, it's a unique situation. Like she was in love with him and he was so in love with her too. I think she wanted him to know that her heart is still open to him.
Joshua, he's gonna say they was in love for 2 seconds, so why do it matter?
Yeah, like I feel like she was letting him know, like, my heart is still open to you, you know, even though you're with her, and if everything don't work out,
say that to somebody that you know?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's right, but I feel like that was where she was coming from with that. I mean, it is what it is. I feel like she didn't get super disrespectful until that whole you talking to him all night at the bar and him taking you home, like that.
You're wild.
Now that's crazy.
You knew exactly what you were doing, and that's why I don't respect the message that she sent out, because it's like your actions after that, I feel like
painted a different picture.
Yeah, you planted a seed and you ended up getting what you were like you sought after. You got your response, and then you doubled down on that. I don't like that situation. That shit was, to me, in my opinion, it was unfair to Laura. That was a waste of her fucking time. Why the fuck would you do that? And Jeremy, just as much as what's her face? Sarah's an idiot. You sat in that girl's face, you try to apologize to her, and then only to just I don't even understand the point of coming to her to apologize, to say anything, or even talk to her about the situation, when it's like your intentions, they were not like innocent, or like, oh, I just didn't know if he was gonna, because if it wasn't all that, I feel like the way I would respect that text message is if she sent the text message out or whatever like that, and then she saw him when they were out in the club or whatever, and just would have been like, hey, what's up, and went about their way.
Moving.
Yes, because it's like, okay, I can't talk to you right now, for the simple fact of I'm aware of your situation. I understand where you're at. I understand, like, this nigga ain't come from his house. He came from their house together, him and Laura's house together.
Now, I got a question, because the internet was saying that Laura was talking to him crazy the whole time. Did I miss that?
Yes.
I didn't see her. I didn't see that.
So I want to get to that, but my perspective of all of it after me watching it all the way up until that whole thing about him getting caught up in the lie, she was talking about his choice of clothes, how he was living, the way that she was talking about him to her parents. Her parents were, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Dang, I
it
must
was
have missed that.
a lot of people were
I
calling her
did
a
too.
mean
Then
girl.
I mean, I know
Jennifer said she saw it. She was a little demeaning.
she
Yeah,
could be a little.
because I read the comments online about how nasty she was towards him, and I'm like, well, damn, what episode was that? Because I didn't see
Because
it.
she would say stuff like she would
She
say
was talking
stuff like,
about his
"Are you gonna
shirt.
wear those Hawaiian shirts
Yeah,
all the
Oh, okay, I
time?"
remember the shirt
Stuff
comment.
like that, and then she was mad.
like his
Well,
glasses. She made comments about his glasses
yeah, and then I
Yeah,
to the
think it
she
point where
got
he
was
took them
like
like
off.
that.
it was bad when he just randomly said the bean dip thing.
I still don't
Oh yeah.
understand that.
She got mad about the bean dip thing because so the bean dip thing was an issue because apparently she was making a joke with him off camera about doing that to AD. I guess because
hmm
her boobs look good or something. I don't know.
But the
And then
bean dip part, is it because she black? I don't get the
No,
joke.
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
understand it.
The
the
phrase
joke,
doesn't mean anything. It's the action that he was like, I didn't know what this was, and
yeah,
she told him to do it, and she was like, "What is that?" And they explained what it was, and he was like, "Why would you tell me to do that?" Because he obviously didn't know what she was talking about.
yeah,
So he
Okay.
felt offended because he was like, "You're telling me to do something to someone. What is that? Smack her breast? Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
it
yeah.
was.
saying?"
Okay.
Yeah,
And then
Okay.
he repeated
That
it.
joke went way over my head.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
went
don't
Yeah,
think
way
it.
over
I
my
don't think
head.
it was like a and I'm not saying it's right, but I just don't think it was like an outside joke. You know, something you talk about with your spouse that's like between you and your spouse. You're not
Right.
going to
Yeah.
repeat it
right.
out to other people. He went and repeated it out to other people, so then it just came off at this like weird way. And I'm not defending her or nothing like that. I just feel like the
Right.
whole thing just came out like weird, and it was weird just the way that how it was all presented. But it was just like I feel like she was just trying to joke with him like on some like inside joke thing, and then he was
Okay.
like,
And he
"Oh, I'm
said it.
gonna like I
hmm
repeated it to everybody, not intentionally." Like, what about him telling the girl on vacation that he still wanted to meet her? He was into her as well. What girl on vacation?
Which one? Which girl on
What
vacation?
girl on vacation you were referring to, Jennifer?
Probably Sarah Ann.
Yeah, Merriman. I think he. Yes, he told somebody on the show. Jeremy
Mm-hmm.
was talking to somebody on the show about Sarah Ann while
Mm-hmm.
on his little honeymoon, and he said that he still wanted to meet her.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Ah,
remember
Chelsea
that.
said it too. A lot of
Oh
them said it.
yeah,
Chelsea
hmm
said it about Trevor.
about Trevor. Yes,
Um,
he did.
a couple of them said that they still wanted to meet whoever the other person was. I
Oh, about
mean,
Amy,
Wait,
oh,
Jimmy or
Amy.
Johnny? Jimmy's
Johnny's
wife?
wife.
Oh,
I think
Johnny's
my
wife. Oh,
Yeah,
wait, who is Johnny or Jimmy?
the ones that actually
Johnny.
got married.
Yeah, the only one that
it,
survived.
Oh, oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I'm terrible with names.
they were a little boring, but they
Yeah, they were boring. I don't. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
they were
You know
green.
what? I think they were so cute.
they
Like
were
every
cute.
time they came up, I was just like, "Oh, y'all are so cute." But I'm just like,
well,
somebody need to throw his ass back in like fifth grade sex ed, just to get him spun up on like grown up shit. But it's just
They
outside
are
of that,
cute. Yeah, they're cute.
they
I
They're
thought
were
they
hmm
were so cute.
they were uneventful, so we don't even think about them because the other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is sad. But I
It
mean,
is
I
right because the whole point of the show is for what we are
what
calling
happened.
them the same.
I think they were good with each other, and I
yeah,
like that relationship a lot.
I
I
do
love
too.
how close knit each of them were with their family, and how
Yeah,
they like made sure each other was like so incorporated with their other
yeah,
family and stuff like that. I
yeah,
really respected that. I respected the hell out of the fact that Johnny had no idea, like maybe he knew how to do, he just ain't know like what happens after that. So I respected that he was like real about his lack of knowledge. Like,
right.
yeah,
hey, these are the only things that I know. They
Yeah,
talked it out and worked it out like that. To me, that was like an actual representation of a real marriage. Like
right.
you
I
guys
mean,
both have an
that
issue.
they're proof that Love Is
Yeah,
Blind can work, and the
yeah,
show
hmm
can produce couples that really are a decent match and can actually like go all
yeah.
the way. Yeah, I mean, we just don't think about them readily. But I kind of came in when y'all were talking about Sarah Ann and her little trash self. Look, there ain't nothing I can
Trash,
say. Sarah
garbage.
Ann will get zero respect from me. Respect would have been letting Jeremy and Laura do whatever they needed to do, and
Yep.
once they broke up, then send that stupid freaking message. you
Talk
know, about,
about
you know, if I'm
Right.
still interested. That is what a grown woman does
period.
that ain't trying to meddle in other people's relationships. She knew
Yeah,
what she
Yeah.
she
was
was trying to
doing.
meddle, and then
She
when
was
she
trying
saw
to, she
that
was
nigga
shooting her
had 2
shot.
brain cells, she was like, "Yes, it worked."
Yeah. She
Mhm.
she inserted herself into their relationship with the hopes that she would find a crack.
And it
She
worked.
He
did.
had to get closure, and
And
Laura
it
dogging him to get
worked.
out that whole situation.
So I know a lot of people were saying they
You could have
felt
got
bad.
closure after the wedding, or
Yeah,
after
she
like,
could have done that after they broke up because they were going to crash and burn either way, in my
Yeah,
yeah,
they
opinion.
were.
Mhm.
They
yeah.
were.
And she gets zero respect from me, and she deserves every little thing she got at that reunion. All the grilling, I
Well,
liked seeing
yeah,
her uncomfortable. It made me happy inside
I don't
because
I
she
don't think that
deserved it.
I don't think her getting grilled was bad either, but I do think that they spent way too much time on that. I
They
think they
did.
spent way
Yep,
too
they
they
much time
did.
on
did.
that.
It was
So
because she
They
was trying
did.
to do like love and hip hop stuff, where she was like,
She's an idiot.
it was just like, okay, girl, this
Trash.
is not that.
so
Trash.
so let's go to this next person. Who is this?
Yep.
Danette, no
Danette,
idea.
You
girl,
don't
we
know
don't know
her.
her.
Sunny,
Nope.
no idea who she
Her outfit
is.
is cute, but
She's cute though.
mhm.
Oh, there she is, Laura. I mean,
Laura.
we kind of talked about her a little bit already,
Yeah.
but
She
I
didn't get a
think
fair shot,
Kira,
man.
you should go back and like check it out. I'm sure they have like
Yeah. Like I
you
said,
could,
I was totally lost when people I was just reading the comments and everybody was saying
yeah.
how mean she
No,
was. And
she
I was just like,
was.
the only thing I remember, and now that y'all was talking about it, was the whole Hawaiian shirt thing, which I thought was a joke.
I think that's what
I
Sarah meant.
mean, I thought it was a joke, but I didn't know she was like really bashing him or really like going at his neck the
Oh,
whole
okay.
time.
I
Yeah,
think her
like
personality was just a little too strong for
Too
him.
strong for him. But I don't
Yeah,
think she
I
was a
agree.
bad person. Not that I saw. I didn't see what
I don't
everybody
think
else
they were
saw.
like the same type of
Right.
personality. More so, I think she needed somebody a little bit more serious.
hmm
Jeremy was very like a jokester type of
Yeah.
yeah.
vibe, and
But
very
she
like in the wind personality, and she's just more like, okay, she could be, but she's not really like that for real.
yeah, but she also said during
Yeah,
the
no
show, and I don't
nonsense.
know if you remember, she was saying that the men, whenever she choosing guys, she used to dismiss guys for the smallest things, like anything. If you did do you remember her saying something like that? I can't remember exactly
Yeah,
what she said, but she said that it didn't take anything for a guy to turn her off and give her the ick. Is the word, is what she
yeah,
used.
Oh
that's
yeah.
Give her
exactly what
the
she
Yeah,
did.
ick.
she did say that. She did say that.
So I mean, that is more of a personality thing than what with Jarama. How do you pronounce his name? Because it ain't Jeremy.
No, but
Drama.
he put the fact that
Jarama.
he
How
put
do
an
you
A in
pronounce it?
there pissed me off. Cause don't, why are you spelling it like that?
All
Everything
right.
about him is
So
unnecessary.
It is, and I feel like he wore that outfit to
On
piss off Laura.
oh, absolutely, he
Like
did.
It
He
was
absolutely
cute though.
did.
that
I liked
outfit was
it.
petty.
He
I
Like
absolutely
liked his
did.
little Hawaiian shirt.
I
All
It
right.
was
So
don't.
what y'all got with Jessica?
Oh,
that's my girl. Period.
yeah, I mean,
I don't have anything with Jessica because at the end of the day, when Jessica said something fucked up, she owned it.
yeah.
She
That's
ain't like backtrack on it. She didn't try to make it okay with anything like that.
hmm
When people are doing fucked up shit, she clocked that.
hmm
Like,
I think everything she said behind people's back, she said it to their
she
face.
said it
Like
to their face.
I
Exactly.
don't have nothing against Jessica. I mean, she said what she said. I think she was
Mm-hmm.
cool.
So I have two questions for y'all about her. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna get through both of them. Y'all can divvy it up however y'all want to. So, do you think that she was wrong because she knew what Chelsea looked like? Her and Chelsea best friends now apparently, but she knew what Chelsea looked like.
Now that's crazy.
Yeah, it
But
is kind of
go
crazy.
ahead. Go
She,
ahead, Josh.
she
That's crazy. But go
yeah,
ahead.
she knew what Chelsea looked like. So whenever Jimmy announced that he was gonna go with her instead of him, that comment that she made, like, you're gonna
You're
choke
gonna
when you
choke.
realize what you missed out on. Like, to me, I'm thinking, are you talking about your own personal appearance, or are you talking about in comparison? So that's the first question. Do you think
Mm-hmm.
she was wrong for that? And the second one, do you think that she should have communicated her having a kid sooner before Jimmy got so invested?
We already talked about the kid thing in the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
I think that when you're a woman, first of all, I think Jessica is a woman that knows what she wants. She knows who she is. I think when you have a child, it is different when you're dating versus when you're single and you're dating. If you're single and dating somebody who's single with no kids, then that's one thing. But when you have a child and you're dating somebody that does not have a child, you do not lead with that because you want that person to get to know you.
To know you, right.
And before you give them something like, a little bit heavier, that it may turn them off. But sometimes you just want to be known for who you are and not labeled immediately and given a chance. I think when it got to a point where she felt like it was serious for her and she was developing feelings, she did the right thing. She told him about it, and that's it. I don't think she should have. Who walks into a room and they don't even know anybody? They're like, by the way, I have a daughter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's not
nobody does that.
that's
That's
not
a
normal
personal
at
part
all
of
in
your life.
any dating scenario. And if somebody does do that, if anybody out there is watching and you have a child and you're single and you're dating and then somebody else has a kid and the first thing they tell you is I have a kid, to me that's weird. Because you don't know what anybody's intentions are when you have children, especially as a woman. Because there are people out there are men out there.
And with a girl, and she got a girl.
Yes, a little girl that literally say things like, and I don't mean to turn the conversation into some crazy shit, but this is just real shit. Like,
I mean,
there
there
are
are
people out
predators.
there that say things like they go after women, single mothers, because they're more desperate than other women, especially when they have daughters, because they know that if they present themselves as like the ideal man to that woman, that person will let their guard down, letting them in their home, giving them access to their children. That is a real thing. You do not come out there and just off the gate, yeah, I got kids and blah blah. It's like,
so I don't think she was wrong. Like, I feel like Shannon said, she waited until she felt like this might just be the man for me, but let me just see how he receives the most important person in my life. And I just think it wasn't, it just wasn't for him, which is fair. I mean, everybody wants somebody with kids if they don't have kids. Like, we can't be mad at him for the way that he responded or didn't respond because it was just silent. But
It's a risk she took, and it didn't pay off for her. And who's to say it really was because she had a daughter? I don't know. I think there was a lot of things that led into Jimmy not choosing her. But I agree. I mean,
the
I
fact
think
that he felt like he was finna get Megan Fox.
Right. Yeah.
But
Definitely.
to your other question, I feel like both sides. She knew what old girl looked like, and she was comparing her. Like, I know what she looked like. I know what I look like. You're gonna choke when you see me if that's what you're picking. And I also, she was playing herself up. Like, I'm confident this much. Like, trust and believe when you see me is you gonna need your EpiPen. So I think that's why I said it's crazy that they best friends. Like, did she not watch the same show that we watched?
I don't know. I don't know if I can be
Crazy.
best friends with her.
It just some kind of like,
that's weird.
It is weird because I just think like with certain, it's just certain types of women that do that kind of, like, to me it's like that kind of weird shit where it's just kind of like you meet like this group of girls and they're just like, well, yeah, like, she fucked my boyfriend, but that was like
it's okay.
And it's
we need to talk about that too.
We're good. And
Get out of here.
What do you mean y'all good?
What's up?
You have some males making comments, so I think it would be good for you to.
Oh no, I'm popping them up.
Their perspective, since you're the only dude up here.
Yeah, no. He's saying something similar. I said, like, I don't think it was weird at all. And then he said
he brought up the kid thing. That's when he said that.
Yeah, said it's almost like lying, holding in something that's serious. So everything that you guys are saying, I agree with you 1,000%. Like they say on Love Is Blind all the time. I'm not saying that y'all are wrong by any means. I can see it from a guy's perspective, and I also see it from your perspective as well. So what Josh is saying is along the lines of what I'm saying. Like, no, there ain't nothing wrong with you having kids, but at the same time, it's like, if me as a guy, if I get emotionally invested in a complete stranger that I've never seen before, and I'm locked in with you, I'm opening up, I'm all of these different things like that, and you tell me that you have a kid, in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh man, like a kid comes with things. You get the same thought process like Clay had. There's a financial responsibility. There's a raising responsibility. You have a stepfather responsibility. You don't know what their relationship is like, and all of these other different things. And it's like, I got that to deal with. And then I go talk to Megan Fox, and she told me she was recently married. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I got Megan Fox, who told me she was recently married, versus this person telling me she has a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like, there isn't anything wrong with it, but from a guy's perspective, this is just me speaking. There's a lot that goes into that responsibility that a lot of people might not be aware of. So to what Josh is saying, he's saying it's something serious. I think that it's something serious as well, but I don't think you need to run into the conversation like,
I was
hey,
just
how you
about to
doing?
ask you, Josh, from a male's point of view, when would you have liked to know? Because is there ever a perfect time to tell? I mean, from a guy's point of view, would you have liked to know that on day one?
Me personally, no. I don't necessarily think a day one. So for me, single Josh out here in the streets with Jimmy, right? So
why you gotta be with Jimmy?
I know.
He always says, "Come to the streets, Jimmy."
To the streets.
So this Josh says from the jump, me personally.
From jump.
Yeah, me personally,
I
don't think from the jump.
In the chat a question after you finish talking.
Okay, so for me personally, as a guy, I think that on a mature level, if I'm looking for something serious and we're both looking for something serious, if we are vibing, we get like on day 1 or 2, like we kind of, on the same page on day 1, and then day 2, we start having those conversations about things deeper. Like you tell me that your dad passed away. You tell me that, all of these different deep, dark secrets of yours. I want you to slide the fact that you got a kid in there too, somewhere if we on that level, versus it just being like, oh, let's go grab coffee, let's watch a movie, let's do this and that or whatever. We just talking. So I think they were into that point where they were sharing some intimate things, opening up to each other. So obviously the show, they edited however they edited, but based on what the show showed us, it looked like it was later into them being as deep as they were. And she announced it in the beginning. I'm afraid that someone is going to, I think somebody might going off. She said, I'm afraid that someone is going to judge me or look at me a certain type of way because I have a kid. So that let me know that she might feel a certain.
Oh, it's Shannon's. Something's going on with Shannon's mic.
Oh, Shannon.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's like your little sound thing was like jumping.
Yeah.
Is it done jumping?
Yeah, it's good now.
Yeah, it was only when you were
well, that's because I had it laid up against my pillow here.
Oh, okay. But
I'm lazy and I didn't feel like holding it.
So did that answer your question, Kira? Like that's me. Like I would rather know once we start getting into those more serious, like past the surface type of things. But what the show showed us, it looked like
it seemed like they had been talking for a while.
For a while, right?
But
we don't really know
that.
Yeah, we don't really know how long it was when she actually did.
No, she pointed that out.
Did she?
Said,
what did she say?
Yes, she literally said right before she said she had her daughter. She literally said, before things, like we've been already having these serious conversations, before things get any more deeper, I have something to tell you. She literally said that. Mm-hmm. And that's when she said, I have a daughter. And then he said he didn't have any problem with it. They continue talking about deep shit. And then that's when she presented the note that she wrote or whatever that thing was.
Mm-hmm.
So she did say that. And
you had a question for Josh.
They were there to get married, period. And the Josh in the chat, because you said from jump that you would like to know if somebody
has a kid.
At that point, okay, so from jump, let's say, okay, you meet somebody, you think that you like them, and they say that they have a kid. Is that like your way of saying like immediately you're just going to be like, okay, well, fuck you.
I'm done.
Not with you no more. Or is that your way of just being like, okay, this is a fair assessment for me to just be like, well, yeah, I'd like to press forward. And then are you then going to be like, I'm testing this girl's personality and then seeing if what are you what are you going to do with that information once you receive
On day
it?
one, yeah.
Are you going to be fair to the girl and just be like, hey, like, okay, so I guess to me, it kind of sounds like you want to know from jump so you can say whether or not you want to deal with that, which is fair. That is 100% fair. Like whether or not you want to,
especially if you don't want kids.
exactly.
If you're a type of person, everybody don't want kids.
Right. And
but if it's a deal breaker
are you
for
going to be
you,
real with her and say, while you have a kid or whatever like that, since she told you from jump, I don't want children? Would you say that back? Like, while you're expecting this honesty from the jump, are you giving that honesty from the jump right back? Like, are you going to be like, I don't want kids, or I do want kids, but I want somebody who doesn't have a child? Like, are you going to do that?
Right.
Yeah.
That's heavy for date one. I mean, I feel like that's heavy.
I feel like I can see both perspectives, because if somebody
Is
does,
that all he
you're
said?
right.
Because the only thing that popped up was yes, that's it. Yes, that's it. What?
That's all he said.
Oh, what does that mean, though?
So I'm assuming that. So Sophie asked a question, and then she gave a answer that he could have taken, and I think that he just took the answer that she gave.
Oh,
wait,
okay.
hold on, wait. He says,
I don't
just to know what I'm getting myself into.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I mean,
well, that's fair.
That is fair.
Yeah,
but I guess the second part of my question was
perspectives.
asking, like, are you going to be honest back to the woman, whether or not, like, that is fair? Yes, I'm ready to be a stepdad, and on top of that, I want more kids in the future. Or yes, I'm ready to be a stepdad, I do not want more kids. Or no, I don't want to be a dad at all.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, I don't even know if fair is the word. I mean, so the reason I say that is because there are people that really just, it's a deal breaker for them. They don't want children, or they don't want somebody who already has children from somebody else. And if that's the case, and she was to tell him off the jump, maybe they both would have saved some time and emotional energy, and they could have kept it moving and went their separate ways. But I feel like if it's a deal breaker for you and you're the one with the deal breaker, you need to ask those questions. It shouldn't be on the other person who really probably is trying to protect, somebody that's very important to them. As a woman, if I do not have children, that doesn't mean I'm not qualified to say this, but I don't know if with the way the world is, I don't know if I would feel 100% comfortable as a mother, a single mother, just telling some random dude, oh, by the way, I have a daughter. You know what I mean? Because you just don't know. I watch Dateline. I mean, we all watch Dateline, okay?
I agree with you.
There's predators.
I agree with you 100% about that, like, point of view. As a mother, God forbid, if anything was to happen between me and my man, God forbid.
Yeah.
We're not going to speak that, because I rebuke all that shit. But God forbid, if I ended up being like a single mother, I would never be universe. Do you hear me? Never.
But I feel the same way. My daughter's about to be 14 years old.
Yeah,
so if I was single, there is no way in hell I'm letting a man know that off rip that I got a 14
because it's not, you're not thinking
Right.
about
And that's your way
man,
of protecting her.
That's my way of protecting her. I don't.
Right. When you become a mother, your main focus, especially when you're interacting with other people, and people is a very general term, because just being real, once I got pregnant, and then after having my baby, it's like you start to reevaluate a lot of relationships that you have, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your friendships, a lot of things a lot of energy you don't want in your space, because
you become very protective of everything around you at that point. And even before that, but like once your kids get here, that's it. Some of the stuff that used to fly before,
it ain't you can't do that here.
You
can't do
that
no
don't
more.
fly no more. Josh,
No.
who else we got?
I got so we I appreciate all the input. So how about we do this? Let's put like a little timer on it so we can kind of get through the guys too, because we ain't even got to them yet.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
We kind of been talking about them sprinkling them.
Yeah, we have, so it probably won't take too long. And for the people that's watching on YouTube, if y'all could do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and the like button. I think it's like
You're a package. What's that mean,
6
Joshua?
people watching. Talking about the
He's
kids
saying
Talking
and the
about the
mothers
mom
and
and
the
the
and the child
kids.
kids.
are a
Yeah,
package deal.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
And as a
all
mother,
right,
your kid's safety is like your main priority.
Absolutely.
right.
I think I see both perspectives. I don't think there's a wrong or right way to do it. I think it's just a preference way,
It's
and
a
Correct.
preference.
I say leave it
But
at
Shannon,
that.
I agree with you when you said if that's his deal breaker, he should have brought
He
that
should
up.
have said that from the
Yep.
jump.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
I would say there are far more people with children than not in this
Then
world.
not.
So
Yeah.
if you're the one coming
But
into
I
the
also
relationship with that as a deal breaker for you, then you need to make that clear. Because she could have just been like, well, I guess that we don't need to go any further because I do have a
Exactly.
child.
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Ain't nothing to
I
talk
mean,
about after that.
Right.
I think well, Shannon, a little bit like when you said like I disagree a little bit about like the whole there's far more people with children than there not. There may be, but I think like a certain age
Age group. I hear what you're saying.
age group, there's far more people with children when you get to a certain age than there isn't. So like I feel like now I don't know how old everybody else is, but I'm old.
I'm probably older than all y'all. So
I don't think so.
how old are you?
34.
Me too.
Yeah, I got y'all beat. I'll be
Mhm.
39.
I knew
So
you were
No,
older than
you
me.
will not.
yeah. Yes, ma'am. I am. So
Girl,
but
Black
I
goes
get
back.
what you're saying. Like, yeah, the age group does play a role. I'm just saying that it's not unreasonable
Shannon,
for it to
I
cross
feel
your
like you're lying
mind
to me.
that this woman might have children.
Right.
So yeah,
so. All right, so we got Jessica right here. So let's keep it moving.
go to some of the guys, Josh.
I thought that was Dwayne Wade's daughter.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know who
Bro,
Danielle
Lord.
is.
nigga is wild. You're on national Facebook.
I mean, I ain't say nothing wrong. You want to see a picture of her? That's what she look like. Chelsea.
Oh God, I'm
Yeah.
tired.
It makes me uncomfy.
She
It makes
annoyed the
me
crap out of me.
sad.
I'm just
Um,
and the way that AD said, "Oh, she's not insecure," I was like, "Yeah, that must
Yes,
have
she
been
is.
hard to watch because we didn't see that. We saw insecure the whole time."
Yeah.
girl, the fact when she was like, okay, so before I'm gonna tell you something, because it might not seem like it, but I am a very like emotional person. I am. I'm a huge like softie when it comes to certain things. Like I really can understand where people come from. And I was really feeling Chelsea like the whole time because I was just like, damn, like she must have been shit on before in her previous relationships and she must have been going
Oh
through so
yeah.
much shit, da da da. I'm like, damn, like when you don't experience that type of like I don't know how to describe it, like negativity or like being shit on by like guys, you don't really see where all of the hurts come from. But you know what episode made me switch on her ass? Because I was like, bitch, you are crazy. When they were outside on the bench and she was like, oh haha, like they were like having a good time, and she's just like, oh well.
He's not showing me enough attention. He
I'm
only
like,
kissed
girl,
me
what?
once. Yeah.
It was when she
Like,
was
are you
like,
okay?
"I don't
And the
want a
fact
man. I don't want a man that goes out." Girl, what?
that was the thing. And then
Yeah.
when he was like, I went out, bruh, even when she said that before, this is what really when I switched. Even when she said, I don't want a man that goes out, I said, okay, not every girl wants a man that goes out. That's fair. You could say that. But when he was like, I was out for an hour and a
And she
half,
agreed.
including the time
The
of
time it
driving there and back, and she goes, well, yeah, that's true. I was like,
What is wrong with you? He had like
You
he
one
has
drink and came home.
issues. That is
the
crazy to me. That is
no.
crazy.
I
There
said
the
an
is
You're
hour
no
and a
problem.
way
half.
you
insecure.
are
And
going to survive a marriage if you don't let that man have some time. Okay, maybe he don't go to the club or maybe he don't do this, do that. But to say that y'all got to be stuck like glue 24/7, baby,
an
that's not going
hour.
to work. That ain't
Girl,
Right.
going to work.
it's not even a point of stuck like glue. This man said he was gone for an hour and a half, and then you confirmed that he was gone for an hour and a half, and you're still trying to say he did not spend enough time with you.
Yeah,
Now,
Do
that
how
was
do
y'all
do
feel
insane.
do
about the
do do,
girl,
do
Yeah,
about the
yeah, go on
friend?
and say it
do
because I've been
you
waiting.
do you think that meltdown, that one that you're talking about specifically, had anything to do with the world finding
The
out that he slept with his best friend?
The world
and she was
found
at
out because
The girl,
she
no.
Nah,
They found
Greer,
out
you're
because
not a
she said
girl, but she already knew before that meltdown happened. She had
yes,
already knew that information
yes.
that he had sex with his girlfriend or his friend or whatever
his
like that,
friend.
and she told him that, and he told her that.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing to me, I feel the same about her too. So at some point, she did exactly, Katie. She turned into a narcissist. It was just crazy. It was just like she was trying to find every single. Jimmy could literally do nothing.
Nope.
Like the way that she wanted him to act was just like, okay, he's in the house, he's staying here.
You're not
he's
kissing me enough. You didn't kiss
Mm-hmm.
me
Yeah,
2
you don't
times. You
talk to
didn't
your
do this.
friends.
I was just like, that is.
No.
She has some issues. She
Yeah.
has some issues.
Yeah.
And while I can empathize with the fact that she felt uncomfortable about him being with that
And the
girl or whatever like
girl.
that, but to me also, even in real life, this is 100% even how I am in my real life situation. It's just like if something was to ever happen between Sean and I or anything like that, it's like I have to look at the situation for first I assess the situation, right? I see what parts of the situation makes me, makes my stomach bubble up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then after that, I'm just like, okay, is this a situation? Is this worth a conversation? Or is this something that I'm like, okay, maybe it's not worth the conversation.
Yeah.
It'll blow over
Like
in
a pick
time.
your battles type of thing.
Yes, exactly. 100%. And when you get married, you 100% understand that statement of picking your battles because literally not everything is worth a
Deserves your
conversation.
attention.
Not, I'm not
Mhm.
saying
But
conversation, but like
that
an
dude,
argument.
not an argument, but if she was uncomfortable, she shouldn't have made it seem like she wasn't. Like she was okay.
Right.
You know, you met
That's
this
the thing
girl,
too.
you met this girl face to face. I get that. But to me, that's a big deal. That is a
Because
Mhm.
you
big deal.
tried
This
to
is
you tried to
somebody
be buddy buddy and
he
you
is
wasn't
Yep.
feeling
close to
that.
her. Like that's not his homegirl that he see every now and again. That's his best
Right.
friend. He spends a lot of
Right.
time with her.
And
And
if you didn't
so
fuck with that shit, you should have
yeah,
told him
you should have
before
said
y'all met
something.
because he told you
He
before
did.
y'all
He
met.
told her in the pods. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He said,
The
I
way
fucked
I
her.
see this situation is this. I think he told her and he did the right thing by telling her,
Yeah, she's not confident in herself.
he gave her the opportunity to give him whatever boundaries were
He did.
necessary
Mm-hmm.
just because,
And
he
she
told her
said, it's
doesn't
no big deal. I'm totally
right.
cool.
Yeah, she said it was fine. It was no big deal. She could just because he told her doesn't mean that she has to be okay with it in certain
Right.
arenas. Like it, they are very close. She does to me seem like an insecure woman, and the fact that he obviously at one point in time was attracted to her enough for him and his friend to
To
have
sleep
whatever
together.
little
Yep.
physical moment they had. If that was the case, she could have set up some boundaries and gave him the opportunity to say yay or nay. Like,
Right.
when you get into relationships, things change.
Right.
When we get married, we cleave with our partner, and I do believe that. So if it was going to be an issue for her, she should have told him straight up that I don't mind the friendship, but there might be some
These are my
boundaries for
boundaries.
me.
Yep.
Right.
You're
Like, I
right.
don't
think
know if I want you and her hanging out one on one, like,
Right.
Right. I
without
don't
me
respect how she
around.
brought
Like,
up the conversation. That was
just
weird.
be a grown up about it and be like, I'm not saying that,
You
I
can't
don't
hang
want.
with her.
Right.
Right.
I'm just saying that I would like to be present
Exactly, Katie.
because, and sometimes like you can get to know somebody and you can be like, I mean, you know what? I'm not even worried about her. Like,
Right.
I
Right.
feel confident in watching y'all's interactions. Like, I really do
Right.
feel confident that this was something that was like a total fluke fling. It ain't gonna happen again. I don't feel
Right.
threatened in any way, and that changes your perspective. But she should have just done the right thing and told him from the jump, like, I don't mind your friendship. I know it's your past. We all have a past. We can't change
Right.
that. I wasn't even in the picture then. But going forward, just know that I might have some feelings about that. And if we're going to make this work together, then there's going to have to be some boundaries. I'm
Right.
going to have to be more important than that friendship if I'm going to be your wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jimmy
We're
should
not
have been
talking.
open to changing. Like marriage is about give
Exactly.
and
I
take.
don't.
So if I'm letting you hang with this girl that you slept with, you gotta give me something. So you're right. She should have put down some boundaries and said, these are my expectations. I'm not telling you to cut your friend off, but this is what I need. Just like you
Right.
need your friend. Like he said he
I
wasn't cutting
don't.
her off.
I think I think with what you just said, Carrie, that's your name, right? Carrie. I just feel like I agree with the rest of it, but saying that he okay. So with any person that you have any kind of relationship with, out of respect for Samantha, he shouldn't even been hanging out with her. That should have gone unsaid. Everybody has different point of views, but his point of view was that this is somebody who's important to me. I'm going to tell you that, and then tell me right now what you want to do with that information. Not tell me on camera what you want to do with that information. But what I say is that anybody can be open to anything, right? But when you come at a person a certain kind of way, immediately that person will shut down. And any information that you try to tell them, whether or not you could be 100% in the right, they're not going to receive it because of the way that you're delivering the message to that person. I feel like in that moment, nobody's saying that Chelsea was wrong for feeling how she felt. She delivered that message extremely inappropriately. She betrayed his trust because he told her that shit off camera, asked for it to stay off of camera.
Yeah. I mean,
angry fit.
No, I agree. It's definitely about her delivery, but I do think that
you did a lot
she should have been able to put her boundaries down. Like she should have absolutely been able to have that conversation with him. Maybe not on camera. That whole interaction was a lot. Yeah, she blew up, and you could tell in his eyes that he was like, "Damn, I didn't think." You know,
it hit him out of the blue.
he was thrown off. But yeah, they should have had, like you said, they had this conversation in the pods. And even if it wasn't in the pods where she set her boundaries, on vacation or whatever the case may, if she had a conversation with the two of them sitting together, something.
That's what I was just about to say. Josh Nichols just said, you know, he shouldn't have even been hanging out with her to begin with. That goes without saying. So I will say this. She had every right, if she chose to meet that girl and she got a bad vibe, because I'll be honest with you, they were a little touchy now. His two friends, okay? If that was me, I know myself, Josh knows me, we've actually talked about this a million times. There would be no way in hell I would be comfortable with him hanging out with some chick that I knew he slept with before. Like, I don't care. That's just me. I'm not saying you can't never talk to the girl again.
Fucked up because I'm folding both y'all asses up.
That's just me. But I also know that the way I think ain't the way everybody else thinks. My relationship is not everybody else's relationship. But what I'm saying is, when he chose to marry Chelsea, that was now his number one. You can't come into a situation like that and expect that a marriage doesn't change your other relationships, because it does.
It does.
So if she was uncomfortable with it, in the pods is different than when you actually meet the girl and you see something with your own eyes. If that was me sitting there,
voiced it though, and not encouraged that. The problem lies in the fact that she encouraged it on multiple times, that she was so okay with it. And it's just like, I feel like so it's like twofold to that, because I feel like sometimes when people be like, oh, okay, it's no problem, in a nervous situation when they really do have a problem, like, that's okay, because sometimes it's just like we can't speak up in that moment. But then to like continue to double down on that, like, not once, not twice.
See, I don't even remember them actually like saying it. Like, I remember them talking about it after the confrontations, but I don't remember.
AD situation. Do you remember that when he was talking to AD at the when they first all met up?
I don't see. But I'm talking about like when he told her that he slept with his friend, and it's still one of his like best friends that he talks to every day. Like, I don't remember them ever having a conversation until after it was brought out in the open that he slept with her.
Yeah, because they did. He told her off camera.
He told her off camera. But what I'm saying is that the way that she acted, the evidence of that we can look back on is the AD situation. Remember when Chelsea or Jimmy said something about her butt, that AD is stacked. He like whispered that to her, and then she said it out loud, and then kept repeating that. Just like, oh yeah, everybody, yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, my man can say she's fine. I don't care. Like, that's the vibe that she was giving off.
But she had a real problem with it.
Yes, and then got back to the room, and it was like a
Yeah, I think she wants to appear like I think Chelsea knows she's insecure, and she
Right.
likes to appear like she's not because it's embarrassing for her.
Mhm.
Right.
But really, we all know like she should have spoke up. She didn't. But I
Like
honestly,
she said, I forgot the cameras were there. So that's how I know she insecure. Cause AD was like, that Chelsea that y'all saw, that's not the Chelsea I know. Well, we
Yes.
saw
And
her when she didn't even know we were watching.
oh
So
yeah, there
Mm-hmm.
were multiple times where she was insecure.
yep.
Multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. So it's
And
just like I feel like
It is
that's
who
probably
she
what
is.
happened with the girlfriend or the Jimmy's girl situation or his friend or whatever. It's just you should have said that you felt uncomfortable instead of trying to convince him that you're not uncomfortable.
Right.
Right.
I
I
agree.
think that she spent too much time trying to play that part of that I'm cool and go with the flow with everything, but it
Yep.
ended up biting her in the butt because
Yep.
her
Yeah,
insecurities
she
ended up
wasn't
getting the best
transparent
of her.
at
So
all.
Her insecurities were way too loud.
yeah, they
Way
I
got the
agree.
best of her. So all right, so that's Chelsea.
I will
You want
say
to pat?
though, I think Jimmy for the most part handled her pretty well. Like he
I
He
never
think
lost
he
his
did.
too.
cool, like nothing. I was impressed with Jimmy and the way he handled her
Yeah.
because
I became a
Yeah.
fan of him
she was
towards the
acting
end.
crazy at times, and
Yeah.
Jimmy was just like brushing his teeth like it won't nothing.
Yeah. Well, he said I'm about to leave anyway, so it
Yep.
is what it is.
Yeah, y'all want to what y'all got to say about Amy before we go? I actually
I like
in the
Amy. I
in
ain't
the
got no problem
beginning,
with Amy.
yeah, in the beginning, I liked Amy and the dude that she's with. I didn't really care for him too much, and I thought he was
Johnny.
going. I thought he
Johnny?
was. No. So the reason that I was feeling that way was because I thought he was going to mess it up because he seemed like he was just too playful, but it ended up meshing
Mm.
to me anyway because she kept saying it seemed like everything is so great. We haven't really talked about anything serious, and I don't know how we argue and all these other different things like that or whatever. And
Mm.
she was like, she doesn't know. They're waiting for their first blow up, pretty much.
And
Well,
they
I
still
think
But
ain't
Johnny's
had
at the,
just
one a
a
year
and they
though.
haven't
genuine
had
So
one.
that's
dude.
scary.
And
That's
at
a
the
little scary.
no. So at the reunion, when they were talking, and he was like, "Our communication is great because when I'm speaking, we're having disagreement. She tries to validate me. She lets me be heard, and blah blah blah, all these other things. And she hears me out. She says her point, and we get to it. Did y'all hear that part? When they,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that it actually ended up working out for the better for them.
Yeah, they
Anyway.
communicate well.
So
Who's
we gonna
next?
pass on Amy.
Yeah, because I don't have nothing to
Yeah,
say
it ain't
about
really
Amy.
nothing to say about Amy.
Yeah,
Who's
Who's
this the
next?
chick that
Go.
Matthew
Go.
was talking to that he was getting ready to. He was telling her and AD the same thing.
oh
Who's
well,
this girl?
Yeah, she didn't
Matthew.
get a whole lot of playtime. Her name is Amber. That's
Amber.
the
Oh yeah.
yeah.
She
Wait.
left whenever that
Amber and
dude.
Amber.
Yeah,
hmm
she
She didn't get
bounced.
any playtime. Ashley. Let's. Oh, the man. Okay.
Clark Kent.
Oh, Matthew. This man came on the show
Matthew.
looking for employees,
He be
but what?
microwaving puppies.
Yeah,
Whoa.
he gave me he gave
I
me
wish
low
he would have
key.
came to the reunion though.
Me too. I wanted to hear what he had to say, but he gave
Me
me low
too.
key serial killer vibes. So
I know,
Yeah.
but I always thought I was like, he's kind of cool though. Like I understand why AD was kind of feeling him, but he gave me like serial killer vibes, low key though.
yeah,
What did you see that? What do you think AD saw?
I don't.
I
He
mean,
just
when his
I know what she saw. She saw a
A
yeah.
project.
project.
A
a
Somebody
project.
who
project.
had a hard time being
Yep.
vulnerable and
Yeah.
showing emotion and speaking about emotional things. And AD thought she
Stand
was
and
gonna be the
talk your
one.
shit, girl.
That's
Yeah.
That's
it.
what look. That's what I said in the
That's
beginning.
it.
We on the same page. That's what I said in the beginning.
That's what she saw in him.
She
She
saw
saw
a
a
project.
project. Yep.
Like
Mhm.
I've never opened up to someone like this before, and you're blah blah blah. AD was like, oh, and that's all. That's all that needed to
That's
happen
all
right
she
there.
needed.
Yep.
Hey
Mm-hmm.
That's
Vanessa,
it.
I dropped the link to stream on Facebook. I dropped the link to the StreamYard on Facebook if you want to check it out, or
Is it
if you
my
want.
sister, Vanessa?
It's your sister Vanessa.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Matthew, he wasn't a huge fan.
I mean, I don't know. He's just weird. He was weird. You know, he I think he had definitely some emotional immaturity and he just was not able to express himself. I think he's the type that definitely would need somebody that is patient with him being able to open up. Uh,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to say about him. He got caught
Yeah.
telling two people the same thing,
The
and
same thing.
Yeah.
that's
That
it.
was weird.
Yeah, and the other
Yeah.
thing too is I think he wasn't so I don't know if y'all real big into like personalities and stuff like that, but I am. And his personality, just I knew that he did not like being on camera. And
Yeah.
something that he like, it seemed like every time a woman showed him a little bit of interest, he tried to leave the show with him.
Uh-huh.
So it was like, let me come up here and grab what I'm looking for and dip out. That's what he was giving me. He didn't really want to come on the show. He was looking for the first person to show him any type of interest. And he started telling me the exact same thing. He's salesman, started reading the script. And
yeah, I mean, I think
He did seem
I don't know if he was
uncomfortable.
looking for somebody to leave. Well, the way that I perceived that was just like control a little bit, because even when the first girl was like, I'll leave with you, like even when she was saying it, it wasn't like she brought it up or whatever like that. It was just like, you know, if this is not something that you're comfortable with or you want to do, or we're going to be together, you know, we could just leave. And it's just like, we could just leave. Like, what you, you know, what you gonna say? And then she's
Right.
like, oh, well, you know, yeah, I mean, I would leave. Like, and then he brought the same thing to AD. It's like, if X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna leave. I just kind of felt like he was trying to see like how many eggs he could get in his basket.
right.
Like,
Very
this
true.
is my control area, which is another thing that also attributed to like serial killer vibes. Like,
Yeah, he was weird to me.
You didn't come there with like a real personality. Like, hey, I'm Matthew. You know, I like Hot Pockets and walking my dog in the park. You came there like,
The man had a spreadsheet,
question number
Excel.
Yeah,
one.
he did.
Where are you from? I'm
Man
like,
with Excel
damn.
spreadsheet on him. He was like, no. Someone answer that question. Be different. Ask another question. Like, all right,
Yeah,
bro, you
that was
got it.
weird. The way he
Yeah,
was
I'm like,
talking
you
to
got
some
it.
of them,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's a little weird. How
I
he
was
was
literally sitting in my bed when he said that. He was like, somebody already did that. Ask another. And I was like,
yeah.
excuse me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
How
was
you gonna
like,
Josh.
present me a variety, like a variety, and tell me you can't have that? What do you mean?
Josh Nichols pointed out how mad Clay got when he found out AD was feeling old Matt.
Okay,
He was
yeah,
so mad, like you
he
could see it
yeah.
on
was.
his face. He
Clay
was like,
wasn't.
"I am not about to lose to this dude." I felt like that was more
That
about Clay's ego
It
than
was about
It
Clay's ego.
it
That's all it
was, but
was.
his
it
reaction was
absolutely
valid.
was.
His reaction was valid because I had the same reaction Clay did. Because when she said it's between you and Matt, me and Matt. It's like that man didn't even connect with none of the dudes.
right.
No, he
Right.
didn't.
Like
He didn't.
nothing. And then when the I don't know if you guys remember this one part. It was like he was looking for his notebook, and then one of the guys was like, "Oh, here's your notebook," and he
He
just
just grabbed it and
snatched
walked
it
off.
and walked away.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
My
remember
bad.
that.
They would
my
have
Right.
man is on the spectrum somewhere. I'm telling you, he
Oh,
just.
I
But
believe that
I
that
too.
really
that,
do,
that
and I don't mean that to be like funny at all. Like I think,
No.
like with what I do, I see a lot of that sometimes, and he strikes me as somebody that's like high functioning and undiagnosed. So
Yes.
and who knows? He
Heavy
could
on the
actually
high
be
functioning
diagnosed and
part.
just don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
right.
and how do you just walk out on people? Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, that is that is seriously a sign that somebody that has difficulty in social
And
situations.
so
It's
yes,
Mm-hmm.
girl.
It's one
Oh
of the
Yes.
yeah.
biggest
He
signs of
gives me
somebody that
socially
has
awkward.
autism or Asperger's or some sort of,
Something.
Mm-hmm.
But
social
nobody says
disorder.
anything because he goes to work every day. His house is clean. He can pay his bills on time, and he doesn't come off initially. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna bring Vanessa up. You there, Vanessa? Hold up. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Are you able to come up on screen, or you want to?
I'm good. I'm gonna stay off screen.
All right. That's cool. I respect that. All right. So I saw you before you came up and turned the camera off, so that's probably a good idea. No, I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
Oh, my
I
So
hear
face.
her laughing.
next person is Kenneth.
Oh,
We talked about him already, so I mean it could be pretty quick. What y'all got anything y'all want to say about him? I don't think they gave him enough heat at the reunion. I personally
no,
don't
I
think they
don't
gave him enough
either.
heat at all.
I think that he should have
I
been on
think old
him.
girl kind of saved him from that by like
Absolutely.
really putting forward that they were really good friends and that
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think she kind of masked the
A
blow
lot.
that he was gonna
Mm-hmm.
get. Yeah, because I felt
I
like
agree.
it was coming. It was
He
coming.
Oh,
wasted her
absolutely.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was just not
Yeah.
genuine, and the fact that his only excuse for just completely like you couldn't help move in, you literally had zero time, zero energy to just be like, if she's like, oh babe, like, and you know, this probably like hit home for me because it'd be like little shit like this that just be sending me over the edge. But it's just like, for you to just pay, like, to look and be like, okay, if she's like, babe, this lamp goes here, Sean would be like, yeah, I think that looks great. It's like, cool. Now you don't have to die. It's like, I just think that's like so crazy when she's trying to unpack the house and you just couldn't say anything. Like, you just.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
also
what
there
I
could
felt.
have been.
That's crazy to me.
Like, I get he didn't have his phone and he's a principal, but you're a principal. So you have a vice principal, you have other staff that can take care of your people. I get that you will
Mr. Yes, Mr. Principal. This man was acting like he done took a break from being president of the damn United
That's what I
States.
said. I was like, he Obama? Like, he was on
Are
his
you okay?
phone.
They don't know what you
so
was doing.
confused.
Did you just randomly leave? Did you just say, hey y'all, I'm gonna be right back, and then just never come back? I'm pretty sure you explained to them, if you have
what
that
was happening,
tight knit of a relationship as you're explaining here, you gonna come up here and just be like, yeah, like I didn't say anything because of X, Y, and Z. And then the fact that he was just like, he called, man, when he said he called Clay, I'm
so
like,
is that where he went when he was like, bro, I'm on my way? He went to see Clay?
I don't think that was Clay, because if that was Clay, I feel like they would have put an edit in.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't think that was
that
Clay.
definitely wasn't Clay.
No,
he said that he was distraught when he was when after that whole entire situation happened, and then it was just like to me, I don't know, I just kind of felt like, my opinion, that was bullshit, because when she was just like, hey, you know, I'm not feeling the crave, and his first response was, I don't think that's enough for us to get married.
Yeah,
and he just got quiet, and I'm just like,
he gaslit her so much in that moment. Like, it was, while I was watching, I was like, bro, you way off the rails, too off the rails for me.
Right. Because
what you gotta say about it?
You're not gonna say nothing else besides that. You're not gonna ask her, why do you feel that way? What can I do? Nothing.
And then he was just like, give me hugs.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, like, give me a hug so you know everything cool. I'm like, bro, what?
Like, that was so heartbreaking to watch. So
yeah,
that was
tough.
tough.
A little sip of Henny.
What you got, Vanessa?
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, I just feel like it was from like what the whole honeymoon and the whole like connection to reality. It was just like such a shock. You just weren't expecting it. They seemed like so close. Like they had
they were perfect.
Well, yeah, they just seemed like they really had something. It's so it was shocking. I feel like he might have like some type of, he attaches his identity to like
his work.
This concept in his mind that he's needed more than he is, kind of thing. Like, you know, because like you're saying, he's not the president of the United States. Like,
right.
No, this is what he saw right here. Hold up.
Oh God.
Hold up. Did my screen freeze?
No.
Well,
maybe actually.
Hold up. Okay. No. Okay, my fault. But oh, my bad. Y'all know I'm not the techie guy right here. But anyway, no, I agree with you. But I agree with you, Vanessa. My whole thing is they were like perfect for each other, and as soon as AD said something to him, there was a complete shift. Like, he was in tune, and I thought that initially she wasn't going to find him attractive, but as soon as I saw that she found him attractive, I was like, oh, this is a match made in heaven right here.
Yes,
that was my main thing. Like, she's not going to find him attractive.
Yeah,
but
I didn't even get those vibes from her. I thought they was.
I didn't either. I thought he wasn't gonna find her attractive.
I did too for a second, but then when they met, I was like, oh, okay, you know, they look good together.
It clicked.
Yeah. It was that boat ride. After that boat ride for me, I was just like, oh, this is
right.
awkward.
Shannon, you're not on the thing anymore.
Oh, you could touch me. You could, you know, I like touching him.
It's like
you could hug me.
Him
you could be close to me. And he was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think he was,
I didn't know.
I think he was probably trying to give this super religious, super Christian, I got kids watching me vibe. So he probably didn't want to, obviously being on camera like that is weird for the world to see you.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that we can't see that side of the show, obviously. So he might have been trying to uphold some type of image because he knew people were watching, so he didn't want to do too much. But at the same time, it's like
do too much. Greer, all
I
the girl
got
was
you.
saying was just like put your arm around me. She wasn't
I
saying
got you.
eat my ass
Hold
on
my
camera.
hand, something. Help me feed these damn dolphins. I don't know.
Something like, okay, sit a little bit close to me, put your hand on my knee. That's it.
That was just...
Baby kids can handle that.
They doing more, depending on what grade he teach or principal of.
Okay, the hell. This
I just
man
don't
gave
think
her
it was any
nothing.
excuse.
He paid her dust. Like, was just.
I just felt so bad for her.
But also, and again, he acknowledged that he was on his phone a lot, but there could have been editing because again, y'all know that the show is messy.
The show was messy, Maddie, the Dolphins. The show was messy, but at the same time, she reiterated it at the reunion that he was using his phone a lot. Because
and he agreed.
While the show was still being messy with certain things, how did they get that much footage of you being on your phone?
Look, so me doing YouTube and stuff all the time, you can do a lot of stuff with editing. But I agree that he was probably on his phone a lot, but the show probably focused on the fact that she was talking to him and him being on his phone and everything. So, but no,
because he was.
He became
he agreed.
Yeah. He slowly became a villain to me. So
All
right. So who we got next? Go ahead.
Y'all already talked about that conversation with AD. I felt like she came across as, I mean, to me, it felt like weird vibes. Like
it rubbed you the wrong way, didn't it?
What do you mean weird vibes? How'd she come across to you?
She's talking about the conversation that
with
AD had with him
Kenneth.
about the having
kids
black kids
and everything else.
Oh yeah. I thought she meant like she came across weird at the reunion. I'm like,
no. Yeah, I think she's talking about that conversation that they had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was weird. That was dumb. Like she should have took her and her eyelashes and minded her fucking business.
That's it. That's the one right there. I'm telling you, the whole time she was talking,
he did make himself the villain.
I got the vibe the entire time that she was. It was almost as if she was trying to convince him that it was going to be a problem, where it may not have been a problem to begin with at all. So,
and it almost seemed like it was like a light bulb for him. Like, Dad, I ain't even think about that. Like,
it came across to me like this because there are certain types of black people that do this, and you know,
I know. Look, go ahead and say it because I'm sure this conversation has been had already.
Yeah, there are certain types of black people that I'm not even. It's not like I'm Beyonce, but I'm trying not to get canceled. Like, there are just certain types of black people that say certain types of things in unnecessary situations or unnecessary environments that kind of have like a little bit of crab in a barrel mentality.
That's what Josh says right there. That's the exact phrase is what he says.
Ooh, and I just kind of feel like she was kind of giving that because it's like, how dare you put a ceiling on him when there was nothing that was there, and you sowed a seed of doubt in him, and unfortunately
he listened,
watered, and it flourished, and it grew into a motherfucking oak tree, and I hated that for him.
And I'll say this: I keep seeing my screen froze, so I had some stuff popping up, and I saw Josh Nichols put up there the same thing. I think he let people get in his head.
Yes.
I have a feeling that's what he's referring to. But to me, that was a pivotal moment. It was the moment things shifted.
Yes.
And he became a totally different person after that. So it's hard for me to attribute, I have to tie that conversation in to how things ended up for them. And I feel like it was unfair to her because she didn't get a shot really after that.
No,
like I said, he didn't even award her a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like they had the talk, but like I said, his mind was made up by then, and you could tell just by the way that he was receiving what she was saying. He wasn't receiving it. He wasn't really listening to her.
Having this conversation with you guys, it just made me think about the fact that saying all of this, it just made me realize like an outside person influenced the way that you viewed your wife.
Talk to him.
So to me, you're not prepared for marriage because
Nope.
at the end of the day, while if I have an issue with my husband, and let's say if I'm like venting or whatever, if I do bring this situation outside to a friend of mine, or if a friend of mine is aware of the situation because it was a public situation that happened or something like that, and they come to me, and that's how you come at me, and your word, like an outside, it doesn't matter who it is, but an outside person, because nobody can infiltrate your marriage. Not your mother, not your father. No person should trump what your husband or your wife is saying, because at the end of the day, it is just y'all two. That is what it is. Y'all are.
Well,
that's it. When something happens to you, God forbid, nobody's calling up your mama and your daddy. They're calling your wife. They're calling your husband. Okay.
Right.
And it's just like for you to let somebody warp your mind about someone that you considered your wife, you put that person on that type of pedestal, that lets me know already that you're not ready to be married. Because can't nobody come in here and tell me some shit about Sean. What you gonna say about him?
Right.
There it is. So, question, because this made me think of something. AD had so much to say about them and the kids and everything else that kind of deterred him away. Why do you, if that's how she feels about that relationship, someone that was engaged, why did she go back and try to start dating old buddy?
Who?
The Matthew. She said at the reunion she went on dates with Matthew.
I feel like she went back to go dating Matthew just off the simple fact that something was in the pods, and I'm not sure, but maybe she just didn't see him, or maybe when she did see him, she just went back, because in my opinion, AD is hooked onto Clay. So I feel like she went back to fuck with Matthew to just fuck with Clay. Not necessarily, because you saw how she was acting on the couch when she was like, oh, well, I don't know if I can say, because I feel like he's burning a hole through me, but I didn't get that vibe that Clay was like burning a hole through her. I felt like he was just like, oh, okay. Like, say whatever you have to say. And she's just like, oh, he's burning a hole through me. And he's just like,
well, I wonder, this is what I think about sometimes with that whole situation with Kenneth and AD. The fact that I think it came from, another black person, I think that you spoke a lot about, like, you don't want to get canceled. I think that there is that mentality where maybe race would be important to the people he cares about. Like, maybe they would prefer to see him with a black woman. And I think that maybe that just played in his head. Like, I like her. I think she has all the qualities that I'm looking for, but is my family going to accept her? Are people going to look at me and judge me because I'm with a white woman? I mean,
but at the end of the day, with that Shannon, whether or not that him being a black person felt like race would play a part in the thing, just literally, most black people, even the ones that's like tough to crack, when you meet them as a white person, Hispanic person, whatever person that's not a black person, and you give that black person that vibe, that thing, that they're whoever, insert person, whoever it is that person is taken care of by you, you understand they can vibe with you, that situation is dead unless that person's like 90 years old.
Right. I mean, I hear that. I just know, like, even in my own experience, obviously, we're interracial, Josh and I. I mean, there have been times, even me going into a room, of people. I mean, there are some people that no matter what you do, they're going to have their perspective and they're going to have their thought process. And I mean, I'd like to say that most people have the perspective that you have, but in my experience, it's not that way. Like, there are some people that just no matter what are always going to have that preference.
Ooh,
and that mentality that you talked about earlier. And maybe he was scared of that. Like, I feel like maybe there was a part of him that knew it was going to be difficult, and maybe he was feeling her, but not enough to really feel like he could face that difficulty with other people. I think he cares way too much what people think about him.
Right. And I was just about
I
to say
think that unfortunately he missed out on a really good woman and probably an amazing relationship because he was unable to let that not bother him so much.
But my okay, so in response to what you're saying, is just a simple fact about that he cared about, like, just to speak on the fact that you said you brought up your experience. It's like in your experience, you are married to a black man.
Right.
And you know, I'm not gonna say like me and Greer are like best friends in the whole entire world, but I know he ain't gonna let nobody fuck with him, let alone fuck with his people. So it's just like, at the end of the day, if you walk into a room where it's uncomfortable for you and he peeps that it's uncomfortable for you, because again, you guys are coming from two different perspectives. If you're you coming into the room and you walk into the room, it's a bunch of black people and you like, damn man, I kind of feel ugh. And he come into the room like, hey family. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's not family, it's like he gonna understand. Like, okay, you're not gonna do that to her,
right?
And that's the role that Kenneth should have placed himself in.
I agree.
Instead of trying to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, maybe I just can't do.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
at the end of the day, it was on him, and he just wasn't strong enough to deal with that for whatever.
Yeah, and that shit to me is whack. It's fucking corny, and he wasted her motherfucking time.
At the reunion, they're like, "Oh, we're close friends." Like, and we've been talking about like what would happen if we started dating other people, and like how like we'd have to change our relationship. I'm like, this makes no sense.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That was weird as fuck. Cause I'm just like, y'all glad that y'all have that kind of relationship. Because at the end of the day, it's not like y'all relationship ended on some shit where it was just like y'all talked it out like, oh, okay, this didn't work. It's just like, this nigga literally just like deaded you for a cell phone.
If they're so close and they still have this amazing connection, like I just don't. Why aren't you together then? Like, if it's gonna be a problem, then you do.
Because Kenneth is not waiting for Brittany; he's waiting for Brandon.
Right. All right.
Man.
But Kearns did bring up a question in the chat. She said, "Can we talk about like what's a girl's girl?"
Yeah, I saw that.
Y'all got that because I have no idea what she's referring to.
I know what the fuck a girl's girl is.
I think a girl's girl is somebody that just, I don't know. I know exactly what it is. Hard to put into words, but you support other women and you don't do things that would undermine them in any way. Like, you're for them, you support them, you want them to win. If they're interested in somebody and that's your friend, you're not gonna do anything to sabotage that or undermine that in any way. You're gonna promote that. You just have respect.
Genuinely.
It's a level of genuine respect for another.
Genuine respect.
We don't have to be in competition. We can both win.
That's the thing. You're not worried about you walking you with your friends. That's you and your friends. It's different scenarios where you could be a girl's. When I go out and I'm with my friends if we at the bar at the club, nobody's going to the bathroom by themselves.
Same.
That's not a thing. It's not because we just have to go there because we're just no, bitch, you're not going to the bathroom by yourself because I don't know who the fuck is in the bathroom. I don't know what you're going to experience from the bar or wherever, from the dance floor to the bathroom. It's a safety in numbers type of thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to the bathroom together. We all come together. We leave
together.
So if you meet a nigga in the club, you meet a man in the club, and
you better get his number because you ain't leaving with him.
We got to go home.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're not staying here and you're not going with him. That's a girl's girl. A girl's girl in real conversations. If somebody comes up to you, it's like, you know what? If somebody called me on the phone, you know what? I don't really feel like Shannon was blah blah. Hold up. Let me call Shannon. Let me put her on three-way. What'd you say? You don't feel like what? Shannon here now. Tell her how you don't feel about what. Or go talk to her. You don't entertain conversations about people, your friends, people that you consider friends, that they think y'all two are friends. You don't entertain conversations about them. You don't talk shit about them behind their back. Genuinely don't talk shit about behind their back. You celebrate their wins. You're happy for somebody when they accomplish something, no matter how big, no matter how small. My girl got a job at McDonald's as a cashier. Is she happy about that? Maybe guess what?
I'm happy for you.
I'm coming to McDonald's and I'm going to buy $100 worth of cheeseburgers.
Shanice,
and I want you to check me out.
Shanice said that she put a comment and it said that Laura kept saying that Sarah Ann wasn't a girl's girl and she didn't know what that meant. I think that was referring to Sarah Ann basically sending that DM to Jeremy while Laura and Jeremy were still engaged and trying to make it work. She was disrespectful, and she sent that DM with the intention of maybe finding a crack, and she found that crack and it worked. And a girl's girl would have just accepted
never
that
done
she wasn't the one who was chosen, and let them see that through.
let that be
If it
that.
didn't work out, maybe in the future they could have had something. But she had no business messaging him. That was messy, and she shouldn't have done that. And I think that's what they meant. A girl's girl would never have done that. She would have just been like, you know what? I support y'all. I don't want to get in the way and interfere with what y'all have going on. So I'm gonna put my feelings aside and let y'all work through whatever you're working through, and then maybe in the future, if it doesn't work out, that's one thing. But I'm not gonna interject myself into what y'all got going on and put any doubt anywhere.
Right. All right. So I got you. So for the people that's watching, if y'all haven't done so already, it's free. Y'all do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, please. It is free, and I don't ask y'all for
I'll be
much.
back next week talking shit again.
I appreciate it. Look, come back every week. All right. So we got Kenneth out the way. Not sure who
I
this
don't
guy
know who that
was.
is.
Austin, keep moving. It's famous Jet Jackson right there. Jamal, he had like 2 seconds
Jamal,
to
I
play.
hate your outfit, Jamal. I hate them shoes, baby.
Hold on, wait. Let me show. Can y'all see my mouse right here on the screen?
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, anyway, if y'all want to zoom in, y'all see his cuff links right here on the button where the cuffs are.
Oh my God!
Where the buttons on his wrist.
I think like the suit top is big. The thigh
Right
part is tight. The shoes, I'm not understanding.
Yeah, I don't know who
You know,
dressed him.
don't worry about it. I was about to put y'all on game, but don't worry about it.
Okay.
We'll pass
Carry
it.
on. Jimmy.
Jimmy, what y'all got about Jimmy?
Jeremy looks like a thumb.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. I did not have a problem with Jimmy. The only problem that I had with Jimmy was in the beginning, initially, he came across to me as too much of a nice guy, and he wasn't being stern enough on how he felt. It seemed like he was trying to play both sides of the fence and like please one person and the other, to the point where he didn't have a choice but to start hurt people's feelings. So I think that's really my only thing with Jimmy. I think he handled Chelsea well. Like Shannon said earlier, I think he handled Chelsea way better than. Yeah.
I think. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I
was disagreeing, but then I was just like, yeah, you're right. He was kind of playing two sides of the fence. I just, and the only reason why I'm like, is just because when Jessica told him that she had a kid, and it was like
the way he treated her.
Yes, after the fact, he knew he did not want to pursue her, and I felt like he could have just let her know that, so she could have had a chance to try to like
nice guy,
somebody else, because he knew that he wasn't interested in that.
Yeah, I feel
being a stepdad.
Reaction to her telling him I have a child, and then his reaction to Chelsea telling him I was married previously, two completely
yes.
He was so like much about to Chelsea.
But I also feel like those two things are on two different levels too.
But I'm
what
just
you mean?
Okay.
You heard me, Shannon?
No, I didn't. What'd you say?
I was saying like I feel like what you said about like the reaction, I agree with it, but I also feel like those like those two confessions or whatever you want to categorize them at, they were on like two different levels.
Yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is like he told Jessica, he was like, well, I got some heavy news today, and he was talking about the news that Chelsea gave him about being previously married.
Oh, girl, you made me get a chill because I forgot about that. He did do that.
It was like a total bomb went off for him. So I think for him, you're right. I agree. I think the minute he found out he was a mother, and not saying that there's anything wrong with it, because again, not everybody wants to be a stepdad. Not everybody wants to pursue or be in a relationship with somebody who has children. There are, different things that come with being, a parent and having a little person involved. We all know that. He's not wrong for that, but I think it showed so clearly that that was going to be a major hurdle for him. And
Yeah.
the way he described it, oh, I got some heavy news. And then I'm like, damn, he said that was heavy. Look how he reacted to Chelsea. And she's telling him this, and he's acting like the world is ending. So
Yeah.
it was clearly evident that that was something that was going to stop him from wanting to pursue her any further.
Yeah.
So obviously, again, this is editing, but they kind of confirmed it in the show, and I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about this. In the show, they showed Jimmy going from hearing that she had a kid and having to emotionally deal with that, but trying to keep his composure.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, the next clip, what clip was him going in there with what's the other girl's name?
Chelsea.
Not Chelsea. Oh yeah. So
Chelsea.
told him I had a kid. Went into the next part with Chelsea. She told him that she was previously married. So have y'all ever had a situation where y'all had a rough day at work and then y'all came home to some bull, and the bull might have been this big, but because of the stuff that happened at work, this became this? Has it ever happened?
And yeah, but first of all, it was backwards. He got the news from Chelsea first, and then he got the news from Jessica about the kid
situation. He did it because when he went in there with Chelsea, he said, I just got some really bad news, or just got some really tough news when he went in there with Chelsea. That's what he said. So he got the stuff about the kid first.
He told Jessica that he had some heavy news earlier, and then when she told him about her kid, it was like the end of the world.
Do you remember that, Vanessa? It was the other way around, wasn't it?
I thought he heard it from, well, at least the way they played it on the screen, I thought it was Jessica and the kid.
And then Chelsea. Yeah, it was the kid first, and then it was the marriage thing.
Then I'm misremembering.
But you know what? My thing with him was, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how people do it. He had like zero passion, like no drive. He never seemed genuine, like from the beginning to the end. It was so weird. Like, I understand that he might be Mr. Nice Guy, but like, and I know damn well when he saw Chelsea, he was not attracted to her. I think that was the hard.
That motherfucker broke the fourth wall. He looked directly into the camera.
He was exactly not attracted to her, and that, like, he knew as soon as he saw her that she wasn't it.
Well, I think it's because he was expecting her to look more like
Megan Fox.
Well, yeah,
and I think he got a little disappointed.
I mean, I know she probably shouldn't have said that, because that's like, but I could see the slight resemblance, like from, on the facial features. I could see it, but yeah, no, she's not like exactly like Megan Fox. So that was a tricky thing, but
she like the Timu version.
Yeah, and see, Jennifer even said Chelsea's news wasn't as bad as the prior news.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess he did get told.
Yeah.
About the kid first.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, that clears that up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Jimmy was a little like, I don't know. He was very sterile. I guess that's the best way I would put it. Like very calculated all the time. And he was like, I mean, I love you, Chelsea. And then he'd be like, I don't know. He did kind of seem a little bit.
No lie, I kind of seem
disgenuine.
It seemed like he was trying to convince himself, because he was trying to give.
That's what I felt like.
It seemed like he was trying to give her the reassurance that he needed to keep the peace, not because he believed it.
Yes, 100%.
That's what I got.
Yeah,
I feel like he just kept saying it over and over in the way that he kept saying, because he was like, "You do love her, and you're gonna."
Yeah, trying to convince himself. Yep.
He was convincing himself, and I do agree with Josh Nichols. I know a lot of people gave her a lot of heat about the Megan Fox thing, but I see it too. Like I can see it from her nose up.
Me too.
Or the shape of her eyes, like her face shape is totally different. But if you just look at her nose and her eyes and her eyebrows, if she had a skinnier face from the nose up, she does kind of resemble.
Okay. I mean,
so I can see it.
But the reality of the situation is the internet exists. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
The internet and the public exists. You put some shit out there. And then you know what made it worse? I feel like in her case, it wasn't the fact that Jimmy was just like, hey, what do you look like? What's this? She volunteered that information. It was very unprovoked. They were talking about something completely unrelated, and she was just like, "Hey, you know who people say I look like?"
Yeah, who do people say you look like? She kind of brought that up. I think she probably did that to kind of bait him into asking her that question.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But she
I
did
feel
say
like
like she
you
didn't
dug
really
that
see
hole,
it.
and I don't know why you did that, baby. I don't know. You could have.
I mean, I don't know. She did tell him, like, you know, a lot of people tell me I look like Megan Fox. I get that all the time. And she was like, but I mean, she was like, now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I do. I don't really see it, but people tell me that. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, she
and
did kind of,
Shannon, that's the part we hate about the internet, because
yeah.
that last bit, they forgot all about that.
And she did
Not
say
the
on the
content.
reunion that she like literally like she regretted it from the
I don't
second
like her
she said it.
reunion picture, because I feel like that's very unflattering to her face, her body type, because I don't think Chelsea's
Yeah.
ugly,
I don't
but
either.
she's not giving Megan Fox. I feel like her other pictures and other angles of her are more flattering. That reunion picture was just disastrous in every way, shape, or form. They made her head look like a foot. It was just like boxy as hell. They made her
Yeah.
body look boxy. They made her look. I just don't feel like they were very flattering to her. And a lot of people use that reunion picture as the side by side to the Megan Fox thing. But in the show, there were plenty of times where she was like smiling or looking at
Yeah.
Jimmy with no makeup on. She looked beautiful. Like
Except
there
that
were,
that
yeah,
mouth, that little, she looked like a bath sometimes.
That
Her
chin,
her mouth, the corners of her mouth go downward.
yeah.
So
Y'all know that emoji? That's just like,
the big long one, pause.
yeah,
The down here, yeah,
that's her.
yeah, it was.
Like,
But
yeah, that was.
I think Chelsea was pretty. I think she's pretty. I mean, I think she's Chelsea and not anybody else. And that's
Yeah,
probably her downfall, saying anything about Megan, because I know when that them doors opened and she ran to him like she did, I would have been like, "What the fuck is coming my way?" Like, did you see that
yeah.
yeah.
to him? She was like, "Yee!" I even said
Hey,
it.
they had to turn the volume up on her voice when she.
Yeah.
I was like, "Good
I
Lord,
told
girl."
Josh when it happened, you no
And
lie,
then
Josh.
and
I,
then Jimmy
did
even
I
said
not
it.
say to you, don't do that, baby? Now, come on, girl. Don't do
Jimmy
that.
even said it. He was just like, he was like, oh, yeah, remember you were saying like Megan Fox.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, he was like, "You're not what I expected,"
Yes,
Yeah.
and he gave her nothing.
dog.
Like,
Yeah,
Do you know
That was
how I
funny.
would have
Bro.
like crumbled up into a ball if I met the love of my life for the first time? He's like, oh, you're not what I thought. I would have disintegrated into.
yeah. That was tough. And the reunion, not the reunion, but the reveal. They were about to get into a little bitty argument because you could
He
see that
asked
this
her if she was ever told her she was
Jimmy wasn't
homeschooled. Did
feeling it.
he? I don't remember him asking. I thought she volunteered that information. I don't. We gotta have to pull the receipts on that, because I do not
Yeah, we might
remember.
have
Also,
to.
Shanice has one
So
final question. Do you all
okay.
think that Go
Hold on.
ahead,
Before
Josh.
you hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I wanted to get to that so I can bring it up on screen, but this guy, no idea who he is.
Who's he?
Vince, that was the one that
Vince.
gave Matt the notebook that he snatched out his hand.
I don't
Oh,
remember him
okay.
either.
So actually, yeah, we can go ahead and address this question right here.
Okay, it says, do we think that AD was wrong for grilling Sarah Ann at the barbecue about the DM?
No.
I got a little different perspective on that.
What you
Yeah.
got?
So this is what I told y'all in the beginning, and I'm gonna stand with it. I think personally, this is what I think about AD. I like AD a lot. I think AD, if I'm gonna be real about it, I think AD's
Overstepped them boundaries.
she's flirtatious. That's number one. Like
She
there were
is.
multiple times where she was like talking to the other guys and her
But she was
mannerisms.
like a professional. I don't know what team she played for, but she was like some kind of like
Right.
cheerleader.
Cheerleader.
But I
She's
think that's why
flirtatious.
she does that.
That's it. She knows she's attractive and I think she uses it. That's
Yeah.
number
Mm-hmm.
one. And number two, I don't know. Like I think if anybody was gonna grill Sarah Ann about the DM, it probably would have been Laura. That's who should have been grilling her. And I get why AD did it, and I don't think that what AD said was wrong. But I think AD just likes a little drama and she likes to be a little messy. For the same reason that when she was drunk on camera, she was like, I don't care what Amy and Johnny say, she's fucking that man. You know, like I think.
With who?
Do you remember when at the bachelorette party, AD was drunk and she was on camera, and they were interviewing her about Johnny and Amy and how Johnny and Amy were saying that they weren't having sex, and she was like, I know that Amy keeps saying that they haven't slept together, and she was like, but whatever, she fucking that man. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying, like, there is an aspect of AD's personality that I pick up on that likes to be in the center of shit. She likes to be in the mix. She likes to stir the pot. And that's just me. So do I think that what she said to Sarah Ann and what she brought up was wrong? No, I think Sarah Ann was trash. I'm sorry. Like, I don't agree with Sarah Ann and her perspective and what she did at all. But I think AD likes to be in the mix and is a little bit messy too. That's just my perspective.
Said, I thought she was wrong too. If Laura didn't say anything, why did she? I think Laura didn't say anything was because, remember, that was the first time that they said that they saw each other since that whole argument happened. I feel like she was probably pretty overwhelmed. And then when she confronted him and how he was like super nonchalant about it, I feel like Laura put up a tough front, but you saw at the end she started crying. Like,
well, if it were me, Sarah Ann wouldn't have got 2 fucking feet into that party. My sister knows me, and so does Josh. She wouldn't have got two freaking feet in that fucking party before I would have been like, oh, you got a lot of nerve. We got some things to talk about. Like, there wouldn't have been no nice nothing with me. Like, I would have, if it were me, I probably would have messaged her when she DM'd him and been like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, she would have DM'd him. I would have been video calling her from his Instagram. Like, bitch, are you okay? Are you dizzy as fuck right now?
When you're on camera and you're on a show, it's different. But I don't know. I would have been like,
oh
man, where you're at. Because if you need assistance, if you need an ambulance, let me know. Let me help you in that way.
Yeah, I would have been like, what are you even doing here? Like,
I find that
move along.
That she brought it up. But I think, like, it got to a point where it was too much. Like, it got to a point where, okay, like, you called her on it. Like, let it go. Like, it's not really your business. It's not really, like, you have nothing to do with this. Like,
it was just that Sarah Ann was trying to justify the shit, and there was no way to justify it. You just, and I think that's where the place that AD was coming from. She just kept trying to, like, make it like, well, it was okay because it's like, it was okay because of what? And I mean, you already know how I feel about that. I'm not, no.
Yeah, like, again, Sarah Ann,
10 seconds,
total trash.
Yeah, like I said, the thing with Sarah Ann is I understand the text message. The timing of it was where the problem was, because they could have waited until it was announced, just like everything else. The engagement is over. They're not seeing each other anymore. It's off script, off scene. They can do whatever they want to do. Send the text message in, but that was my whole issue with it. So,
and then in the middle of it too, she was making like little, I don't know if y'all have TikTok, but she was making TikToks inside of Jeremy's house, like doing little like weird shit, like subbing Laura, coming at her and all this other shit. Just like,
yeah, I mean, weird. I don't know. At the end of the day,
Jeremy,
oh, we get into it. We get into him next.
Okay, well then I'll let you get to it, Josh, because I don't know. I think I might have been about to say something about it too.
Okay. We're gonna pass by Vince. Y'all got anything else to say about Clay? I think we talked about him. We good on Clay?
Yeah, I'm good on Clay.
They're so strong, and like, I don't know, like his mom, I felt like that was probably my favorite part of the show, was that
his mom with his dad
in between.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
it was
that
so
was an amazing conversation. I feel like a lot of people need to see that.
Yeah, she had such like strength about her. Like, I mean, she wasn't being fooled the whole time. Like, Clay made it sound like his mom had no idea, all this stuff, but she knew. But
no, like, she said she didn't. When they were talking, she said that a lot of stuff came out during this show that I had no idea about.
I don't think she knew that Clay was going with him.
Right.
The stuff. I think when Clay mentioned that, that's the part that she wasn't aware of. But I feel like she knew about the cheating. She doesn't know that you was bringing my son with you.
Right.
Like, I think Clay's mother, the way she approached that, she handled that with so much grace and so much class. And at the end of the day, what it did do was it exposed the effect that parents have on their children in that manner. Right. Like, you don't realize as a parent how much your children carry because of your behavior. Like, if anything, it really just highlights the fact that as a parent, I think you just really have to be mindful that when you have kids, they watch everything, they feel everything. You think you're
Girl,
hiding it, but you're not.
you're
I know I
not.
was one of them kids. You
I
do
mean,
not, and my sister knows too. You carry your parents' burdens and you don't
yeah.
even realize that it's shaping who you are as a child until you get older, and then you're left with all that bullshit to work through. But I just think that conversation, it was so necessary to happen and so applicable to just life nowadays. I was just happy that it happened and that the whole world got to see that and the message behind it, the underlying message. She handled it with a lot of grace. And I felt like you could see like the regret seeping off of his dad.
The dad, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was like looking
It
at
was very
somebody that,
palpable. Like, yeah.
right. Like you could feel that shit through the
Childhood trauma
screen.
is
Like this
definitely a thing.
dude, because there was one point when he was like trying to like, I guess, bring up them, and she was like, no, no, we're not going to talk about that anymore.
She kind
Yeah, he was
of
he was trying to
because she was
soften the
like a
blows.
woman like
Right.
he's like if he had a woman like you, like his mom, and she was like, you had a woman like me.
Right. And I
Stupid.
felt like that was such a raw moment. And I don't know. I just think the message behind that was so clear
Yeah.
and so necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with my sister on that one. Like that moment made the show. I wish she would have been on the damn reunion.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to speak on something that's just like how you said that children are watching you, whether you think that they're not. And this example that I'm about to give is so like minor compared to anything that's been mentioned. But an example, I experienced it not even that long ago, like within the last 2 weeks, is that my daughter. So when Sean calls us or whatever, he video chats us and he's saying like whatever, checking on us or saying goodnight or whatever we're doing. And when we're about to get off the phone, if we're like, okay, we'll talk to you later. Bye, love you. My daughter will literally be like, bye. I've never taught her that. But I say that when I hang up the phone with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
not
she's
because
listening.
I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, not because I'm just like, okay, this is how you get off the phone when your dad calls or when somebody calls, say these things. But she literally says that anytime if Sean is on FaceTime and she sees him and we're about to get off the phone, she'll literally be like, bye.
Yep,
And
that's funny.
It's funny, but it like freaked me out because I was like,
where did she get that? Right. She's watching.
Yeah.
Yes, she got it from me. And that just goes to show like kids are listening to you no matter when you think that they're not, when you think that, like when I'm talking to my friends, she's in front of the TV or she's playing with her toys. Like I'm telling you, this girl is like focused, like science project happening. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like whole time, something that minute, something that small.
Right.
It's like you've picked up on it and now you do that all the time.
And to think about that, like you are her only source of information. Well, her primary source of information and the only thing that she looks up to. So it doesn't really matter what you're doing, how you're walking, how you're talking or anything else like that. So with Clay, when he was talking about his dad, he said in the past, he idolized his dad. So if you idolize someone, it doesn't matter if they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. You want that person's validation. So you're going to fix yourself appropriately. And along with that, you're learning things. Okay, this is all I've seen is my dad cheating. It doesn't matter how old he is. Like these people 30, 40 years old, 50 years old, still got trauma from their childhoods. Like there's a YouTube show that I watch all the time with people that are like 60 years old, still talking about what happened to them when they were a kid that they never addressed. So to think that Clay, and again, this is why I was saying what I was saying in the beginning of the video, like, yeah, he's an adult, but he's an adult just like the rest of us who might have issues from the past as well. So if he idolizes his dad and his dad is doing the wrong thing, why would Clay not do what his dad is doing and think that what his dad is doing is okay?
Yeah,
so
I agree.
What I feel about that too is just, maybe he don't, because while Clay was also saying that his dad and all the shit, like all the trauma with that, he was also recognizing the wrong in what his dad was doing. So it's like right now what you're showing everybody, what you're showing us as your audience is that you do know that this is a bad thing. You do know that this stove is hot. You understand that.
Right.
And you're not the wool's not pulled over your eyes to that fact. You are clear on that. And you understand the situation that you're in, you understand the stipulations that you have, which is why I feel like he could have said that to that girl before they got to the altar, because you understood those stipulations.
Right. I agree with what you're saying. The thing is he know that those things are wrong, but just because you know something is wrong doesn't mean you know what the right thing is, or the right things just come easy to do. So he could identify that there was a problem. Just like when he said he watched Love is Blind, the episode with Brett, that was, I guess, his first time, the way that he was saying it, his first time seeing what a husband was, like what a husband does. And men have intuition too. So you can see another man treating a woman a certain type of way and be like, oh man, like, I don't know, like, am I capable of doing that? I see what the right thing is. This is what the wrong thing is, but am I capable of doing it? Because now I'm in this pod where I got 30, I'm 2 weeks in. Actually, I'm out of the pods. I didn't even see the video with Brett. I'm out of the pods. I'm watching this video, and now I'm 2 weeks away from getting married. And now I'm seeing my intuition is telling me what a man is, what a husband is supposed to do for his wife. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm getting married in 2 weeks. This is what I want to be. This is what I need to be, but I'm not there. How do I do that? Am I able to do those things? So what you're saying is right.
That's two different conversations, though. Like wherever a man is supposed to be, because I'm not a man, so I could never like understand the internal battles of where you think you should be or how you think you should present yourself to a woman or in a relationship or anything like that, right?
Josh, pop back in anytime.
At the same time is the fact that when you speak about intuition can tell you like bottom line, the problems that he was having and he was expressing, inherently they were wrong, because you were presenting those issues as them being a problem, as them being wrong. You were presenting it like, I feel like I might cheat on you. I feel like I might not be able to give you 100% of myself. You knew that you were on the bad side, if you want to say, of what you perceive a marriage to be. Now, in my personal opinion, to me, I'm not a person that believes in like you coming to your spouse or something as like a perfect person. I don't believe
have to have it 100% figured out.
Yeah, you don't. You never will. You just won't, because every year, every month, every anything, you are constantly learning about yourself. Because me and Sean, we've been married over 10 years. I am not the same person I was when I first got into this marriage. And he is not the same man that he was when he first got into this marriage. We are constantly learning each other. We are constantly adjusting to that growth. Now we've expanded our family. So then there's other growth, other things that now it's like, okay, not only do we have to learn each other as husband and wife, and then who we are as individual people in this particular situation. Now I'm learning myself as a mother. He's learning himself as a father. I'm learning who he is as a father. He's learning who I am as a mother. It's so many like intricate details about that kind of stuff. So yes, I understand for him, to me, having that mindset, and I guess because I'm coming from a place that's so deep, like in a marriage, deep down the line of a relationship, it's just kind of like, okay, that sounds slow to me, because I'm just like, it's not that you're going to always feel like that, but there's always going to be room to grow. There's always going to be something you have to learn. There's always going to be something different. Like, oh shit, I didn't know that you did that. I felt like I knew everything, but I know you did that because maybe, 2016 you loved pickles, but 2021 you hated them. You hate them now. And that's just the reality of the situation. But so with him saying stuff like that, I'm just kind of like, to me, that's a cop-out, because you're not giving yourself a chance as a man, as any person, a man or a woman, to experience that. Because marriage is not something that's just kind of like, I feel like people prepare themselves so much for a wedding. You're not prepared for a marriage.
Right.
You get so ready to the flowers, where everybody gonna sit at, this they gotta be this shade of pink, this gotta be this shade of pink. And then now all of a sudden, y'all motherfuckers in here cussing each other out because the toilet paper ain't on the right side.
Right.
that could be that.
These analogies are killing me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Pickles,
just saying, like, that could be
poop.
some real shit that be fucking people
Oh
up.
no. So I feel you on that,
I
and
agree on all that for the most part.
the thing about that, and this be the last thing I have to say about it. The term, that's the bottom line. That's the bare minimum. I think that gets used a whole lot. But in this situation, I think that there is a bare minimum or something that goes without saying when it comes to relationships. I don't think Clay was at that bare minimum spot, and I think he was realizing that when it started to get a little bit more serious. But just like you said, I tell guys this all the time, there are certain things you will never learn about yourself until you're committed to a woman. There are certain things you will not learn about yourself as a man until you commit to a woman. And I think that Clay, in his head, and again, this is just me coming from a guy's perspective, he saw that he wasn't even at the bottom line. The bare minimum. He probably saw that he wasn't at the bare minimum.
So you feel like he didn't see the bare minimum until the altar?
I think that Clay went into this, if what he's saying is true and he'd never seen this show before, I don't know what his mindset was. So I can't even defend him on that. But as far as his mindset goes, if he's going into this a certain type of way, someone comes to him and check him and put his mind in a certain perspective to where it's like, man, I'm feeling things that I've never, as a guy, someone that isn't like emotionally driven. I'm feeling things and I'm expressing things and I'm doing all of these different things for this one person. I'm seeing a side of myself that I'd never seen before because a woman made him see that, just like a guy would in a relationship when he's committed to a woman. He started to see that in those pods. So now you start seeing all the insecurities come out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to be with this and not cheat. It sounds crazy saying it out loud, like that, but he's being very transparent and open. So that's why I find it to be true, because he wasn't afraid of hurting her feelings by what he was saying, but he was being honest about it. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to give you what I believe you deserve and all these other things, because I'm seeing a side of myself. And then on top of that, seeing Brett in the next season, not the next season, but seeing Brett afterwards, like, dang. Yeah, I don't think that I can. This is what I want to be, but I don't think I can be that. So I'm doubling down on my insecurities. So
yeah,
he came into it. Yeah,
I understand his honesty. I understand, that perspective. I agree. I guess a few things I will say. I think so. I'm a science person. I like science. I like research and studies. Studies show.
What is it, person? A science? Science. Okay.
I mean, I'm medical, so I'm a medical professional. I'm a healthcare provider.
Okay.
So
Girl, I zodiacs.
No, science, not
yes.
So I kind of like, for me, it's my nature to kind of look at like studies, research, scientific,
like the logical part of the situation,
right?
Like the emotional. Okay.
And I will say this: that what I do know is that there have been countless studies on, especially on African American men, how important another African American role model is, especially for young African American men. So I think the moment between Clay and what's his name? Why can't I think of his name?
Brett.
Yeah. I think that was a beautiful moment, and I think it was a very raw moment, and I think it was kind of like the inner child of Clay had one role model to look up to, and it was his father, and his father did, whatever he did. That's important. I think that's something that probably needs to be explored a little bit more. That conversation, I think, was a beautiful moment. And I wish they would have played on that a little bit more as well. But, they both said their piece. But I did like that, Clay said what he said. And the way that Brent, what's his name, Vanessa?
Brett.
Yeah. The way he approached it and, kind of like, it was like he lifted Clay up a little bit, because Clay just to me seemed a little broken in that moment. But research shows that it's critical for young Black men to have another solid role model that's also a Black male. So what Clay experiences and what he goes through and what he's taken on has really been a reflection of what role model he had. With that being said, there's also a lot of research when it comes to kids and like marital relations. when there's discord in a marriage and it's evident to children where children aren't really shielded enough from that, it does one thing. It creates a feeling of instability, which in turn creates a feeling of that child not feeling safe in their environment. Safety doesn't have to be just physical. It's emotional. It's mental. It's physical. It's everything. The one indicator with how well adjusted a child is as they age and become an adult, the one indicator that matters more than anything, it's not, financial means. It's not, having a two-parent household. It's none of that. It is, did that child feel safe in the home that they were in the environment they were in, whether it was just their mama raising them, their daddy raising them, a two-parent household, their grandma raising them, their aunt raising them. What matters more than any other indicator and what is a predictor of whether they adjust well as they age is whether or not they felt safe in their environment. And when you have, relationships that are like that, where there's a lot of, discord, because there's no way in hell after 25 years, like Vanessa said, his mom didn't have an inkling of what was going on. She figured it out. And Clay having that experience of like going with his father and seeing what his father was doing, that had to create some sort of instability and some sort of feeling of like, I don't really know. Exactly. It's a safety thing.
Well,
And so,
dad brought him into the betrayal because
right.
he never told his mom that he was with his dad all these times. He knew all that time as he was a kid
That it was wrong.
He was basically, it was almost like aiding and abetting your dad to cheat on you.
Yeah, that's damage right there. That's damage. That to me would create an environment where you're not safe. This isn't a safe spot because I can't even be honest with my mother because then I'm betraying my father. But if I don't tell my mother, I'm betraying my mother. So, I mean, I feel like we give a Clay a lot of heat, and rightfully so. I mean, he is an adult and he does, he has to be accountable for his actions. But I will say, like, he really is a product of his environment and what he grew up with. And I think it's admirable to an extent to see a man being that vulnerable on national TV, especially a black man now being that vulnerable on national TV. And I feel like for the most part, it doesn't negate what Clay did, but he owned his shit. He did not, he straight up said, I was fucked up and I fucked up with AD. She was the love of my life and I fucked it up, and I
he
have a
never
lot of,
blamed her one time.
he had nothing
He
negative
didn't blame
to
her
say
one
about
time.
her. I mean, I don't condone what he did and I don't take all accountability off of him as an adult because I still feel the way I feel about, he knew that these issues were there and he made a poor decision, in my opinion, with even bringing somebody in when he wasn't ready yet for whatever reason. Whatever, that's just how I feel about it. But I will say, like, I give him respect for that because that shit won't easy. Again, that's another moment where you could feel the discomfort. It was palpable. He was not comfortable. That man was genuine on that stage. And I applaud that because we don't see men do that often. We don't see men have vulnerable moments like that in the public eye, especially black men. So if anything, to me, that gives me hope that there is a spot for men to be vulnerable and show emotions and say, like, I'm fucked up. Like, if we're all being honest, that we all have our shit. We're all fucked up in certain ways. It's easy to cast stones, but we all have our things and we've all had our moments in life where we haven't made good choices and we've hurt people along the way. And it's our fault that it happened. Nobody's perfect. But I just want to highlight with all the shit with Clay, I do want to highlight that perspective of this because I still think that that's a beautiful thing and we need more of that. And I am glad that he had that moment and that setting was available for him. And he felt like even a man saying, I'm going to therapy. Do you know how rare that is? It is not common for men to seek out therapy at all. It's sad that it's not because men should know that they have a right and they need to talk to somebody too. But just the fact that he straight up was like, you know what? I'm in therapy, like that is brave to me. It's courageous in a way because it's not the norm. And we all know how the world views men and emotion. Like, it's a double standard. Women, we're too emotional. Men aren't supposed to be emotional at all. So I mean, I applaud that, and I'm happy that happened. And it just gives me a little hope for the future in general in that topic.
Well, nicely put. So y'all
agree.
giving Clay a pass after the
No, I mean, I'm
reunion?
not giving him a pass now.
No, no,
Hold
no.
on.
Nobody said all that now.
After the reunion, his speech. Are y'all? Do y'all? Are y'all? Did he
Oh my
make it
God.
up to y'all at all at the reunion?
What do you mean?
Wait, I
At
didn't
the
hear what you
reunion,
said.
his speech he gave. It was a year later, and his speech about him
No,
saying he
his
went to
speech
go
was
get therapy.
moving. It made
He
me
went to go
tear
get
up,
therapy.
but
Everything that he
then
was saying about Clay and AD, and not Clay and AD, but AD and everything else, and the accountability and the vulnerability and all of that.
yeah, I like I said, I'm gonna just say it over and over again. I just do not respect the fact that he brought her all the way out to that altar. I hate that for her.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Only thing that
I can see that because
I agree. I still agree
from
with that.
from that perspective, I understand where you're coming from because it's sad for AD. It was what needed to happen, and that is not the first time out of 6 seasons where someone got told no at the altar.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time. I'm not saying that.
I still feel like it was painful for her, and I hate that she had to
Yeah.
go through that.
That shit was crazy
I
as
wish you would
hell.
have just
Like,
told her
boy.
from the jump, or just told her earlier.
And then the
I
way that
do.
she was
Right.
talking, she was saying like, if you would have just explained that to me, the way even she said at the reunion, she said there was nothing she wouldn't have done for him if
Right.
he would
She
have
did
just
say that.
sat
That's true.
and talked to her about. And I feel like that also that's another thing like sometimes men be doing. And I don't know if I could categorize this as black men, whoever, but it's just like sometimes men y'all shoot yourselves in the foot with certain situations. It's just like you could have just said this and you turn like a salt grain into like Mount Everest because you try to handle it on your own.
Right.
And I feel like this whole thing could have just been so avoidable, and maybe they would have had a much more like beautiful outcome. Because another thing that's just kind of like personable, I guess, is just if we're like doing the black man black woman thing, is just like I feel like a lot of black women they have these relationships that feel like they have to suffer first before they can
Yeah.
find love. And I just kind of feel like AD, not only did she talked herself up into that position too. Because another thing about me is like I also feel like the tongue is a powerful thing. When you say something and you keep drilling
Yes.
that, baby,
Yes,
whatever you
it
believe in,
is.
God, the universe, however, that shit gonna
Yep.
find its way back around to you. And you know what I'm saying? Like in whatever way that is. So it's just like I feel like she
Yeah.
talked herself into that position, but at the same time, it's just like, why is that the only kind of love that you want to accept? And then now that he seems better and seems like he's in a better space and he's getting all this help, but he's just not there yet. It's like you still
Right.
want to like accept like the struggle love instead of just being like, okay, like somebody
Right.
that being good to me,
Mm-hmm.
and now this is just what I want to do.
Right. That
Right.
is a very, I think that's a very valid point. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, I think, in my opinion, when it comes to, like just black women in general and the struggle of concept. Like, like I think the world is just really tried to beat into y'all that y'all don't deserve the best. And it's sad that that is what it is. And I agree. I mean, I think that that's definitely a valid point that may not be as readily noticed, but with you being able to identify like you can, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that could be why she is that way. Like,
Yeah.
the being everything for the man, but not really, catering to her own worth. I mean, she has value, and she it's okay for her to take up a lot of space in this world. And I think in relationships, the woman does that, especially the black woman. We kind of suffer a bit, and we
Mm-hmm.
accept that suffering like it's a rite of passage, and it's really not. I mean, we
Crazy.
deserve to be treated well from the jump, and vice versa. So
I agree.
definitely
Well,
do that.
I like Clay. I like his growth. I like his growth. So let's see, who do we have next? We've been on for a good minute now, so let's try to run through these real quick.
I don't think there is anybody else. I don't know who that is.
There's one person that I really wanted to just say one. This guy.
Trevor. Oh God.
Not Trevor.
This is the guy that I wanted to talk about right
now. What say about Trevor? Like,
what's
Trevor
that meme of that one girl that be like, where she was in court?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. That Best Buy blue T-shirt.
Oh, yes.
What y'all got to say about Trevor?
You make me sick to my stomach. If Trevor was here right now, this is what I tell him.
Okay, so so all the way up until the reunion, before everybody found out that he came on the show, he was, had another girl and it was texting and all this other stuff. Wasn't he just y'all's lover, like everybody's lover boy?
Yeah, everybody liked him and felt bad for him.
Yeah, because I was just like, damn, Chelsea, you play him like you wasted his time. You waited all the way up until the end. You like to say you don't want to mess with him. Then the Doc situation, you talk to him, y'all seem like y'all have a connection. You kind of seem like lost, like kind of. I felt like, damn, maybe Chelsea kind of made a little bit like a mistake. Like Jimmy not really you, maybe Trevor really you. And then motherfucker, you and your crusty ass had a girl.
Right.
Then you go, then on top of that, not only did you have a girl, you texted this girl that no matter if you got engaged or whatever the hell happened on that show, you didn't give a fuck about the person you were going to get engaged to, that you was going to marry her regardless. First of all, whoever that girl was, you're a fucking bird. You a duck ass bitch for even letting somebody do that shit to you. And second, why would you even, if Chelsea would have picked him, imagine. Like, I'm just, like, she would have just came into the situation just like, okay, I'm putting all my eggs in this basket. And this motherfucker like, yeah, let me see how famous I can get before anything else. And you talking about something, I don't really have anything to say.
I think that's why he went on the show. I think some people don't use the show for any other reason other than to advance themselves professionally or social media wise. Like, I think that there are plenty of people that want to get famous, and that's what they use the show for.
What's Nick Lachey's wife's name?
Vanessa.
Yeah, she was just like, did you come out here to advance your career? He was like, what career? I was just like,
I don't necessarily think maybe it's always career. Like, he's a fitness guy. I don't know. Like, I peeped his page.
Yes.
Sitting on the couch looking dumb. Yes, Joshua, looking dumb as fuck. With them big ass pants on, looking like he took his daddy clothes and went on a reunion.
That picture is whenever you go on Amazon looking for khakis, that's the picture that pop up right there. That's the Amazon khaki picture right there with the
pissing me off. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, Shannon made a real good point though, because he is real big into fitness, and if you go to his page, he kind of blowing up, but he's getting the attention that I'm assuming that he came for.
Yeah, because he tried to make himself. Because I went on his Instagram, he made himself look like a. Can I? Yes, Joshua. Can I? He made himself like this fitness guy, this huge like sweetheart, like a
lover
huge
boy
teddy bear. Then he was like rescuing animals from the shelter.
Right. Mm-hmm. Which, granted, he does have like a lot of his content is fitness and his dogs. Like, he has these dogs that he just there's two mainly, but whenever he came on, all that got exposed, I was just like, I really think he went up there just for fame, and I think he's an idiot, but he got caught, and I don't even know why he came to the show or to the reunion, because I would have just stayed my ass home if I knew that.
When Nick was reading them text messages, like tag teaming, like, and then you said, I love you, pumpkin, and then you said.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if he knew that they had all those.
He had to have known.
I don't know, Josh. He looked shocked.
He looked shocked, but the thing is why wouldn't they bring him out with everyone else? Like
and you know
what's weird? Go ahead.
I saw those texts. Wait, when did okay, so that's probably the thing that I need to understand the timeline. because they said it was a year later, but I don't know if it was a year later in like 2023 when none of us in the show aired 2024. But it's like I saw those messages.
Yeah, he was texting that girl on
like
the
it was
way
like
to
on
the show.
Instagram when
Yeah.
all of the mess was like coming out, when the show was coming out. Like I saw the shit about Jeremy, I saw the shit about Trevor, I saw the shit about Jimmy. Like I was seeing all of these like things that I'm just like, I was like, yeah, Jeremy definitely did that shit. He was definitely engaged. And he was
You know what that probably was? I would say that was probably the algorithm of social media, because the reunion was a year later after the show and everything else like that. So why would text messages about what's going on with them just all of a sudden start surfacing until not everybody's talking about Love is Blind this, Love is Blind that, this person might be gay, this person got a family, they just on here promoting their business, and now all of a sudden these text messages are coming about because somebody might want some clout somewhere.
You're not wrong. This is what I thought, though. That's what I thought. I thought it was fake. I thought it was like Photoshop, because at this day and age, like I literally, with AI, the way that AI is rapidly progressive, I do not believe anything that I see. But when he sat on that couch and was like, I'm like, no, this nigga, no, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm like, bro, I told Shannon this when we was watching the show. I was like, bro, don't sit on there looking like no sad puppies. Put your chest up. And then AD was like, say it with your chest.
No chest, yeah.
Yep. I'm like, bro, just sitting down there looking all sad. I'm like, bro, now is not the time.
No.
Now is not the time. You knew what's going on.
My nigga, tell me about the messages.
He was a joke, man. Like I just couldn't believe that. I was like, man, I would have stayed home. Like if I knew I did that,
right. Shit, that's the
you just embarrassed yourself on national TV.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to go there and do that.
They don't be and that's another thing that kind of made me like dislike him even more, because that to me, him showing up in the way that he showed up, trying to still play like that little innocent boy shit.
Yes.
You was trying to use that shit to your motherfucking advantage because you didn't think that nobody knew what they knew about you. So even the fact that you knew that you did that, you were still trying to play in people's face. You were still trying to be like, oh, well, I'm just Trevor. I'm just a softy on the inside. Get your
I don't know anyone an apology or an explanation other than Chelsea. If you want to talk outside, I'm like, bro.
Why the fuck would she want to talk? Well, you know what? I don't know. This is just me projecting onto her, because we try to be like, why the fuck would I want to talk to you? For what?
Right.
Like, what do we got to say? You just told me in more or less words whether or not, if I chose you, I would still get played.
Right. Yeah, she was like, I appreciate that. I was like, don't even tell him that.
Yeah, I'm like, I appreciate
that.
He's telling you that he will fuck you over regardless. Look at the. Is this your man? What are you saying?
Oh man.
And he asked her like point blank in the pods about like, if I would have asked you first, would you have said yes? But then he brought it up again, and it's like, he knew that I think he's right about that one. I think if he got to her first, she would have told him.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think that was a timing thing.
I agree. And for the reason that he was probably confident in that, and then you proposed that question, knowing what the fuck he was doing, you need to get chin checked.
My man should have just stayed home.
Yeah, you couldn't have paid me.
Diabolical work that you went on that show.
Me to come up
and you know, when they first started talking to him, it was like he was really trying to downplay it, like it wasn't a big deal, or like he was like, I didn't tell her she was my girlfriend. Like
until the messages started popping up.
I'm like, bruh, your messages clearly give the impression that she's more than just a friend. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So like, but the way he was downplaying it, and then it was like the more Vanessa read the messages, it was like there was just nothing left. He couldn't even.
Yeah, he was defeated. Completely defeated. So Trevor, he I'm gonna get him right for these streets out here with Little Jimmy. So there's only two people left that haven't been talked about, and it's him and the guy that actually got married. But since we already kind of talked about Johnny a little bit, this will be the last combo.
Say anything new to say about Jeremy? Jeremy was retarded.
Oh, did y'all hear about him pistol whipping his ex?
So No, I heard about that, but the thing is she is coming. Everybody's saying that she's doing it for clout, and it's made up because the way that she's releasing this information is kind of like that lady that was doing those stories about Who Did I Marry?
Risa Tisa. No, I watched all 3 of her stories. Like I went to her page, I watched all 3 of them. She explained the whole entire situation. She said that, huh?
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I wouldn't either. There's something about, well, okay, I don't know this man character, but there's something about him before that story was released that gives me like, you're a different person behind closed doors.
Uh-huh.
Something about him. So when she was saying that, she said that she called the police. They came to the house, X, Y, and Z, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the reason, like, I believed her story, like, okay, you could just be saying this, I don't know, but I'm just like, it kind of seemed true, but I do recognize, like, I have my own bias, so I wasn't just immediately like, okay, Jeremy, even though you make my ass itch, I'm not gonna, like, vitalize you for something that crazy, like some criminal shit, right?
Right.
But what was crazy to me was I saw multiple lawyers who, because he made a video, like, defending himself from those accusations from that girl. And in the video, he confessed to the fact that his guns were taken away, that he never got them back. He also confessed to the fact that the police did come to his house for an incident with her or whatever like that. He didn't go into details about what the particular incident was. And then it was like something else that he confessed that was just like corroborating her story. Because at the end of the day, if you get charged with like a domestic violence crime that has guns, depending on whatever state that you're in, you are no longer allowed to have firearms. Right. Those rights get taken away from you. And the fact that you said the police confiscated your weapons and you were never given them back.
Right.
Why, my boy?
Yeah. And if all of that, what you're saying is true, because I didn't see it, I take your word for it. Him asking Laura, like, what's your address? I'll come by. That right there he might have been on something then.
Yeah, I don't know. And then it was just like the fact that you made a video trying to downplay, and then also the lawyer, which I don't know this part to be true, but I'll just say what the lawyer said, was just the fact that you can close a case. So if I'm the person that's the defendant, I'm being prosecuted or whatever like that, I'm able to seal the case and have nobody be able to access it. So that's why this information is not public information. So the only person that can make the information public is myself, the defendant. And why would he make that public? Knowing for me personally, like, again, this is my own opinion, not speaking for his, but it's like, if I know that I did something fucked up or not fucked up, like I'm innocent, I'd be like, this is the police report. This is what happened.
Right.
Like, this is what she said. This is the thing. Not be like, oh, I'm going to come on here and say little things, but I feel like he kind of buried himself. To me, the statement that buried him was that the police took his weapons and he was never allowed to get them back.
Yep. I agree.
Why were you not allowed to get them back? Because Greer, Shannon, in the military, if you get charged, any
they taking that gun.
Yep, I agree. Something about him is off. Something about him ain't right. Yeah, and it was interesting because they gave that little clip of Laura and Sarah Ann's conversation at the barbecue. And, Laura was telling Sarah Ann to be careful because she was like, I'm telling you right now, who he says he is, who he was on the show when we were in the pods, is not who he is in real life. Who he is on camera is not who he is behind closed doors. She said that a few times. And, I got a weird vibe from him the night he got caught. And she was questioning him about, like, him staying out all night and his location on, like, that man was literally the epitome of denial, even though the evidence is literally written on your face.
He looked like he was like boiling. Like, if the cameras wasn't there,
the undercurrent was violent there.
Yeah.
It was like
bubbling on the inside. He strikes me as the type that has such a quick temper, and that
Mm-hmm.
when he loses control, he loses it like that and fast.
Yeah.
Right. He
Something's not
minus
right.
the romance. He is reminding me of Joe from You.
Yeah,
Joe
right.
from who?
You.
You seen You before on
Oh
Netflix?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Joe from You. Like
Yes.
you couldn't really catch him in the lie, but when he got upset, it was 0
It was
to
like
100,
a
like
like a
just like that.
light
And he was
switch.
very articulate.
And then
Couldn't catch him
you
in.
know another thing that did stick out to me when you were just talking, Shannon, and talking about like the moment with them, Laura and them talking on the couch. Remember in the reunion when Chelsea was like, every time I saw you, you guys
Yeah.
weren't together. And then you remember what's her face, Sarah Ann was like,
Her
the way that she was
face.
talking, it was already like giving me like battered woman vibes because you were
Yep.
talking like, oh well, no, we're fine. Yeah, we have our ups and downs. And then he's like cooperating with that, like we have our ups and downs, and we're da da da. Dog, y'all have known each other for literally like a half a second.
Right. And what's funny is when Chelsea called him out on that, was like, I've seen you twice, and both times you told me that you and Sarah Ann weren't together. She looked shocked. Like she looked at
Mm-hmm.
him like that caught her
Yes.
by surprise. Like she didn't know that, they weren't together,
Mm-hmm.
that they were on breaks and shit. So it was almost as if, and then if you saw, she corrected that face real quick, and then she
Yep.
started saying things like, well, yeah, we've had our ups and downs. And I'm like, Sarah Ann, like, if this don't read the picture of manipulation, I don't know what does.
Yes.
He
I
is
feel
a
like
manipulator,
when
and he
you're 20
tried to
years in a marriage, you
manipulate.
could say ups and downs.
Yeah,
Right.
like something's
Not
wrong with that dude.
2 months.
He's bad news to me. I'd stay far away from him, but whatever.
Isn't
To
he
each his
one
own.
comment about the how everyone there was like a psychological test?
He did
What are you talking
what?
about?
Yeah, he made the comment in the pod, I think to Laura, one of them, like, well, I thought this was a good idea. Everyone's already been psychologically tested.
Oh,
He
yes, he
did say
did.
that.
Oh
And
my
I didn't
goodness.
even
He
remember
did
that.
say
Okay,
that.
John Wayne Gacy reincarnated. What's going on?
My man is crazy.
He
And then he made
is.
that comment about Jimmy. He was like, well, I'll sleep good tonight knowing Jimmy's the villain.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing.
Something's
That
wrong
was
with that
another thing
dude.
that scared me about him is I don't know if y'all peeped, like every single time somebody called him out about something that he did,
I don't
I think
recall.
behind closed doors, he would have had a different reaction. But on camera, he was trying to look composed because he's just like, oh, I don't remember that. He don't
Yep.
remember
Mm-hmm.
shit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But he looked like it pissed him off
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
they were trying to like embarrass him or out him. It looked like he was pissed that that was happening. But he's like, oh, I don't know. Oh, if I did, if I did say that, I'm sorry. But that man looked like, look,
Also, did y'all see when they brought up Laura and Sarah Ann said to Jeremy, should we clap?
that
They
was weird to
mouthed
me
like,
too.
yeah, like
Because
she
I'm
was
like, what do you mean?
asking
Why are you
permission
asking him for
I
permission
do
to
whether
do
remember
that?
they
that.
should clap for her being on the show. I'm like, y'all are ridiculous. Like, who asked that? I'm like, do you not realize that cameras are on you right now? Like,
Yeah, nah.
especially on y'all in this situation. But I don't know, that whole vibe, like, it was like, she struck me as like, I'm going to go down with this ship type of, I'm going to defend my man to the death regardless.
Yeah. Like I'm a
And
ride or die, but not in like a good way. It's like
yeah, like
in a
something
very
is
like,
just so fucking weird and off about the two of them
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
like him in general. eh, I don't know, his house, if that really was his house and it wasn't staged, I found that so weird. Like, not a speck of dust anywhere. Like, nah.
Somebody said on social media somewhere that they think that was one of his Airbnbs.
I mean, I would
Oh.
not put it past
Yeah,
because
that's what somebody
it was
said.
so organized and so clean. Like, I'm telling you,
It didn't make any real sense.
it's giving someone's gonna chop somebody up with an axe pretty
Yeah.
soon. Like, that's what it's
It was
giving.
giving Dexter.
Right. Like,
Yes.
my man has like bodies buried in the walls and shit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
He
It
got the
seemed like
blood
he just
spackle
like
in the AC unit. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
that's
something
yeah.
like
What couple guys still together?
right.
He's gonna be punching the walls
Yep.
here soon, and then he gonna give her a little hip bump and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yep. And
Well,
he's gonna do something to her, and it's gonna somehow be not her fault.
Oh
No, not his fault.
I
yeah,
meant.
not his fault.
Yeah. Or she gonna be like, you kind of like brushed by me real fast when you got mad. Oh, what, me?
Yeah.
I did that? Oh, I don't remember doing that. Okay, so yeah, if I did do
Fight
that,
her, make her
that
seem-
whole the sentence of if I did do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jimmy shit pissed
Don't
off.
piss
He
me
was
off.
comment did say it, and he was like, I don't recall, but if I did, I
Yeah,
apologize.
Jimmy was pissed, and they was like, I'm mad that they try to make it seem like, because the way he seemed very irritated by that, and then when they was coming back around to him, like asking him about that, he's just like, they try to ask him the question in a way where I felt like they were trying to like minimize it, like make it small again, because they seen how upset he was getting. It was just like, okay, well, like, are you good now? Like, because like the way I don't know, my perception was just like the way they were Vanessa or whatever was asking the question was just like, well, I mean, that was little. So are you okay now?
Yeah, like something just. Did y'all see that little thing where, and this is totally random, but they put a picture of Jimmy up, and they said that like Jimmy looked like this, like I don't know, it was like a cartoon character.
A Muppet.
It wasn't a Muppet. I'm gonna send you the picture.
Is it Human Fry?
Is that what it was? I don't know. I feel like he's
Okay,
from
you guys watch Futurama?
I know Futurama, but
Is he
I didn't see
purple?
You
no.
never seen Human? What the hell? What
No,
the hell?
I know what you're talking about on Futurama, but I never seen Human Fry.
All right, hold on. I'll be right back.
Hey, Vanessa.
So everybody's gone. What happened?
Well, they're getting some stuff situated right now. We probably be closing it up here pretty soon. But I know you came in late. You got any final thoughts before they get back?
My thoughts are that I can't believe that Matt and that ballerina lady from the other season. I'm so shocked that they're not divorced.
I'm surprised they're not divorced either. And also, you remember Kawami?
Yeah.
Whoever his barber is deserve. I don't know if you remember his head in the first season of the season that he was in. This man's haircut was so jacked up. You got to go back. You just type in Kawami. You don't even worry about it. Never mind.
I want to look now.
Yeah, Kawami's barber deserves infinite raises.
Oh yeah.
Because it was pretty crazy. But
no, Human Bender. That's what it was. Not Human Fry. Human Bender.
They said he looked like a thumb. Yeah, Sophie said that earlier.
Oh God.
I'm trying to find a picture where he's just like standing straight up.
I could have pulled it up over here. You said Human Fry? Let's see.
No, Human Bender. Hey, this don't look like Jimmy, y'all. Hold on. Maybe if I got my brightness up too. This doesn't look like Jimmy.
Yeah. Hold up, wait a minute.
But
I got you right here.
Look up Human Bender.
No, I got you.
One of my friends pointed that out. My friend Ariella, she was just like, he looks like
right here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like
I could see it. I could totally see it.
Click on the first picture. Okay, scroll down. Like from this picture that you're at right now. Like scroll down on the side of where the picture is like enlarged.
Over here?
Yeah. And then you'll start seeing like, okay, the second line, the first picture.
Right here. Oh yeah, that's
not Jimmy.
That is definitely Jimmy.
Like 100%. That's Jimmy.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, Josh, I just sent you the picture that I'm talking about.
If you sent it to my phone, I won't. I only think I'll be able to do it. What did you send me?
A picture. You can't look at your phone.
Well, if I do, I'm gonna just have to hold it up to the screen.
Well, yes, that's fine. But tell me that don't look like him. It's the eyes for me.
And who is this?
I don't freaking know.
No, who does this look like?
cat looks like him. I was like, what do you know, Jimmy? Look at him.
That's Jimmy.
Funny.
And
That
it's
is
because the
funny.
character's eyes are like the same color blue as Jimmy's eyes. And I'm like, man, that really is
That
Jimmy.
is
right
funny.
there.
Well, guys, did y'all have any final thoughts? We can go ahead, and I think the last person was the guy that got married, but we done kind of covered him already. Y'all got any final
I ain't
thoughts
got
about
nothing to say
anything?
about Johnny. He's good.
Nothing about
Oh,
Johnny?
my final thought.
But she
I
done
know,
pulled a
get your
spell
book
book
out.
out. Hold on. She done pulled a spell book out. What you got?
Oh, Vanessa didn't know about the book. She done wrote a whole book
I
about
did. When they brought out all those people, like those like Dollar General other couples,
Dollar General.
why the fuck did they not bring out Lauren and Cameron?
Yeah, Lauren and Cameron were the
Why
first ones.
Oh yeah.
would y'all not bring out the literal like not
The poster
nudist,
child, the
true to
poster
this,
kids.
like
I don't know.
why would y'all
The
not bring them
first
out?
couple to make it and still be married.
Yes, but y'all had these great value ass couples on here.
Great
The
value.
only couple that they brought back that I was kind of cool with was Brett and Tiffany. I like them.
Yeah. I don't know.
Still don't understand Kwame and the other
Yeah,
couple.
I don't
Whatever her
understand
name is.
them. I feel like the only couple that I kind of started to understand a little bit was just I don't forgot his name, the Armenian girl with
Yes, Brandon.
Brandon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she's pregnant now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can't
I'm like,
remember her
okay,
name.
good for y'all, but Lauren and Cameron,
Yeah, that was
like
that should have
they
been.
made y'all niggas.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
I mean,
you.
I'm telling you, I personally could have done without any of the older couples coming back. Like,
Yeah,
I think this
Yeah.
is the first reunion where they've done that, and I'm like, why did they do that? Because it takes away from
all the drama.
Yeah, like we wanted to
Yeah.
see more.
What is this?
So, but anywho,
I
oh
agree.
my god,
What does that say?
It says, and I'm going to marry you. It's just saying like what he looks like that girl.
yep,
Next time, so we
done.
would love to hear what you have to say, Trevor.
So silly. Well, we'll have to watch or do this with the next one too.
Yeah, we will
Yeah,
definitely have to do
for
this with the
sure.
next one. Shannon, you got any last final
My
thoughts?
blood pressure.
No, I think I've said it all.
Vanessa,
All good. I'm glad I got to join. I didn't even know
I
you were.
appreciate y'all. We're
Yep.
family now. So you got any last thoughts? I know you pulled your spell book out. You got any,
Yeah.
any last
No, that was
thoughts?
the last thing on there.
And I want to see that spell book for every season now.
Okay, and it will be there, girl. 100%. It will be there. That was the last
All right.
thing. I was not playing. When I commented and said I was taking notes, I was not joking.
Yeah,
You
I
were
see
not
that.
kidding.
I love it.
You were
Well,
not
I
kidding.
appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate y'all for this whole thing. Y'all were the video. So I appreciate y'all. We've been off almost 3.5 hours. So y'all go take care of y'all kids. I'm about to get back out here in these streets with Jimmy and Jeremy. And
not if Shannon got anything to do with it.
Hey, y'all have a good night.
He about to come to
Bye.
this bed. Shut up.
Right. All right. Good night.
See
Bye,
you.
y'all.
Good night.
Bye.